From Optus Stadium in Perth, we've got the West Coast Eagles taking on the Brisbane Lions. What we're going to do here, we're just going to have a look at the team lineups. So let's just have a look at the West Coast Eagles. They've got Harry Edwards comes in with Luke Edwards. Zane True comes in and Ryan Marrick comes in. Of course, out goes McGovern injured, Chesser, Rotham, Darling omitted for this game. It's going to be a bit of a big out there for the West Coast Eagles. The forward man, Jack Darling there for the West Coast Eagles. Of course, for the Brisbane Lions, who are on fire, Joyce comes in and Brain. There we go. Hopefully he has a good few thoughts for the game. And of course, out with injury goes Jack Payne and Brandon Starcevich. The subs for today, Tyler Brockman there for the West Coast Eagles and Bruce Revel for the Lions. Having a look at the teams there, of course, we've got Hoff, Barras, Witherden. On the back line, the halfbacks are Jones, Edwards, Duggan. The centres are Gimby, Kelly, Hunt. The half forwards are Cripps, Waterman, Ryan, and the forwards are Hutchison, Allen, and Edwards. The followers are Bailey, Williams, Ye, Reed, and the interchange, of course, Cole Williams, True, and Marrick. Over to the Brisbane Lions, we've got the back line of Zorko, Joyce, Lester. The halfbacks, Wilmot, Andrews, Brain. The centres, Bailey, Rayner, Ashcroft. The half forwards are Cameron, Hipwood, and McCluggage. And of course, the forwards are Chi, Danaher, and Berry. Followers there are McInerney, Dunkley, and Lucky Neal. And of course, the interchange, Lowen, Morris, McKenna, Fletcher. There we go. It's going to be a fantastic game today. Of course, there are the odds for today's game over there in Perth. We had the West Coast Eagles at about $5, and I think the Lions are about $1.22. So short price favourites to win today's game there. The Lions have been in fantastic form, winning their last 5 games on the trot, and of course West Coast not having much luck this season, losing their past 5 games. That being said, it's a home game for the West Coast Eagles, and as we know, anything can happen, but we're expecting the Lions to have a big victory. If we just have a look where they sit on the ladder at the moment, the Brisbane Lions with a game in progress, the GWS Giants and Richmond in progress. The GWS Giants leading that game, so this is a live ladder, so that would move them into 6th if they win. But Brisbane trying to get the victory here, and if they win, they will leapfrog from 9th all the way up to 4th on 42 points with a bigger percentage than Fremantle. And of course, we see West Coast only down there with the 3 wins for this season. So there we go. All right, let's get back to the game that's going to be starting in around about 3 minutes. Let's go down to the ground. We'll listen to the coach and they will take us through to the first bounce as we prepare for the West Coast Eagles taking on the Brisbane Lions at Optus Stadium in Perth. All right, folks, enjoy the game. We'll take it down to the commentators and the coach on the boundary line.
And you're stuck by the club. I'll be part of you guys now. I'll go up and stand somewhere. Just need to get a couple of tips from someone. I'll be watching on. I can't wait to see these boys play in the next part of the journey of the football club. Thanks for everything. Let's get on with it. Go Eagles. Thank you. mate. It's been an outstanding coaching career of Adam Simpson, the fans, the club, the players, and Adam Simpson will always have 2018. So welcome back to the microphone. With the bounce of the ball not far away, Will Schofield, Matthew Pavage, and Adam Papalia. Welcome, guys.
Thank you, Dwayne. Great to be in position. Of course, a milestone game for Liam Ryan as well, and you can see the appreciation from the West Coast Eagles players as Adam Simpson, who Will Schofield appeared to get quite emotional there with the support he had from the crowd and the support he's had from a lot of the fans over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I won't say it was good to see the emotion, but I mean, it shows how much it means. I think we get caught up with the the wins and losses, but footy sometimes a little bit bigger than that, and clearly for Adam Simpson it has been a huge part of this club. I think he's feeling a little bit awkward about tossing the coin, if I'm honest, and you can hear that, but I think, what a round of applause and show of appreciation from the fans.
It's a great response from everyone in the stands, wasn't it? You're right. A great chance for Adam as well. It's been a really tough week for obvious reasons, but just taking the moment today for himself, you can see what it meant. Be out there and say his thanks and enable the fans to do so.
He's giving a bit of the marmalade treatment as well. Someone getting off. Adam Simpson just looking at where he tossed the coin. Incorrectly predicted by David King that he'd actually pocket that as well on the way out. But Adam Simpson says farewell and gets a rousing round of applause from all of the fans as he leaves Optus Stadium.
Yeah, it's funny when someone finishes up, you think of the good moments, don't you? And as you should. 2018, clearly the highlight of Adam Simpson's career, but
He got the coin.
He just got the coin.
Yeah,
he made sure he got it.
He's happy.
Adam Simpson departs the playing field as the coach of the West Coast Eagles, and now our attention turns to this matchup this afternoon. The Brisbane Lions, so much awaits for them, a chance to go into the top four with a victory, and we wait to see what sort of response there's going to be from the Eagles.
Talk us through what that might be like. You're saying goodbye to your ex-coach and you're about to go and play a game of footy. It must be hard in some ways for the players to compartmentalise. Talked about it a lot. There'd be a bunch of players happy that Jared Schofield now coaching this week after all the tension and challenge. So it's going to be interesting, the response, but if you're Brisbane, you have to bring your effort and intensity to match what the Eagles are throwing.
You need to start well if you're Brisbane, don't you? Because there will be a bit of an emotional factor here for West Coast, and it'll be interesting to see if they do get a response or not. I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing. If your coach leaves, you start being more competitive, but that's what West Coast will want, to be a competitive side today.
Well, the end of an era at the Eagles and the start of a new one as we start this match. West Coast and Brisbane, round 18. We are underway. McInerney and Williams in the middle. Kelly trying to get to work nice and quickly in and under.
No real surprises matchup-wise. You thought maybe Jared Schofield threw a few things around, but Jermaine Jones is playing at half forward. Maybe that's the only one. He's been playing in a variety of roles this year.
A few changes at selection. Jared Schofield, Jinby trying to get it out of there. He ducked down low to try to escape, and it'll be a ball up.
Liam Ryan is the deepest forward. We spoke to Jared before the game about his time at Subiaco with Liam Ryan, and he used to play out of the goal square, one out, and you can see Liam right now doing the same thing.
Enjoying watching him jump on your head all week, going on replay for that mark in the waffle as out of the middle. It'll be the Lions. Not trying to get it out of there. Hit the turf from the tackle there on Ashcroft. They might just escape the Lions. It's with Dunkley on the wing. As Neil spreading wide. The chase is on, the intent there from Jones. The pressure comes across. We see immediate intent from the Eagles play.
Yeah, that's a half forward coming right up the ground. He saw that an opposition midfielder, Lockie Neal, was get out into space, and he said, okay, I'm going to cover for my midfielders. It's a good team play, and exactly what sort of response the Eagles would have liked.
McInerney and Bailey Williams again go at it. Both got a piece of it. Jinby went and got it. David DeReed out of stoppage. A mongrel, but it might work. It does work. Perfect pass in the end. He almost got it back. He did. Kelly gave it to him. Fed it on forward. Huge opportunity for Krebs. Goal on Morgan. Well, the crowd rolls as if this is a chance to win the grand final. It's a massive round of applause for the effort, for the start the Eagles have given. Every player giving everything they've got.
in the opening minute, and now Waterman to finish it off. You don't often want to get in a transition battle with the Lions, but that was brilliant from West Coast, the ability to transition the balls from a stoppage. They look on to begin this game. 100th next week for Jake. Story of his own. Listen to the crowd. Little bumps and pushes off the balls. Oscar McInerney looks like he's a bit of a target for the Eagles. He's getting. So you got. Let's have a look at the stoppage. You got Jimby, who's actually on Rainer, but he just said, "I'm going to go to the ball," and then they spreads going.
Look at Jake Waterman's on the screen. He's run about 60 metres to this one as the ball transfers to the middle of the ground. Really hard work rate from Jake Waterman. He's one of the highest forwards. May not have been a pass, but at the end of it.
The transition that you love to see if you're an Eagles fan. Haven't seen a huge amount of this year, but they do play really well here up the stadium. They're probably a 2 or 3 goal better team with regard to their scoring power. Adam Simpson's moved quickly.
That was very quick.
He's got a beer in hand. What's going on?
And he's over the bar. Suited up as well.
Quick dress change into the suit jacket, and enjoying up there. There is a group of the 2018 Premiership enjoying and celebrating the match. First goal going the way of West Coast as McCluggage sends a high ball inside 50. Barris with the spoil. Cameron waiting down. Brush past Jimby. Feeds it through to Danaher. Big side step. Run down by Jimby. Cameron on the follow. Lions kick the goal, but it's holding the ball to call. The free kick will go to the Eagles. And again, the intent, the chasing pressure. They win the free kick. Danaher claimed he got a handball away, but it will go West Coast way.
Well, that's their young midfielder, Ruben Jimby, with work rate. And he looks like he's trying to go with a few.
He's going with Rainer, so he's. Let's have a look at the free kick. Did he get a handball away? Maybe a throw. The umpire called her to hold the ball. But Jimby is definitely going to Rainer across half forward.
Jimmy the long ball. Allen had to spoil from behind. Out to Spill Waterman. Way to Jaden Hunt. High ball to the wing. Lions best position. Ryan couldn't quite fly for that one. And Chad O'Brien able to take the mark in front.
Lions Academy Bright playing game 4. Big moment for Shadow O'Brien. Will Ashcroft, third game back from a knee reco. 18 and 21 possessions. His first 2 games back. Sends it long. Danaher gets there. Good score though. It's a second effort. Danaher. Little knock McCluggage. Rainer in the middle of it. Tries to keep it rolling. Harry Edwards making him work for it. Ashcroft around his body for a ball in, and Harris content to see it out and McGovern, so it'll be tougher for him this afternoon, but who knows what we're going to get from the Joe Show. A few changes at both ends of the ground defensively. Brain comes in. We talked about Payne and Starcevich, of course, going out, so Joyce and Brain get their opportunity for the Lions.
First full game for Shadow O'Brien, been the sub 3 matches so far, and run and carry in transition from the Eagles, looking lively, and it's Ryan leading up to take it on the wing in the step 2. Now he's away and flying with the vision to set him up forward, and Kelly. Open forward line, he goes the step. Well, it looks like they've been told to just take the game on almost at all costs. It's a poor kick in the end going forward, and the Lions will hold it up.
What about a kick inside by Liam Ryan? Tim Kelly couldn't finish it off, but it was great vision. They're taking it on through the middle of the ground with handball and forward handballs. They're taking ground with those. Clearly, that's what West Coast have scouted today.
And a couple of players step on the mark. All fisted away from the pack on the wing. Good takedown low from Bailey. He'll try and slice through himself. Rayner knocked it down. Dunkley on the boot. West Coast set up. Trapped by Yo. Back to the wing. Cripps.
And put a little bit early. And the crowd roaring again. Ryan 1, grab 2. Game 100. Celebration day. Chip kick. Not the reply. Cripps has to go. The plan may be to give it back to Ryan. See what he can do with it. Pass Duggan. And content to cradle it over the line, and everyone can take a breath. If you're Chris Fagan right now, you're just a little bit concerned defensively how they've been able to slice open your defence. They're normally very good in the transition game, the Lions, both at scoring and then stopping off those scores. But right now, with some questions being asked of them.
McInerney down, Neil on the burst. He's had terrific form of late. Certainly after the bye, he's come back extremely strong. Good kick inside 50, danger here. Hoff and Cameron one-on-one. It's not the place you want to be. Isolated against Charlie Cameron, but Hoff played it well. Barras is behind.
Well, what you need to do against Charlie Cameron is keep your feet. And Brady Hobbs had the role on him before, but geez, he did well in a one-on-one contest, running at his own goal. Like you said, perhaps probably top 5 areas you don't want to be.
Yeah, he kept Charlie goalless in an 81-point win by the Lions. So Lions beat the Eagles by 81 points, but Hoff was superb. Crowd screaming ball, they get ball. They're getting a lot going their way at the moment, the crowd. Riley Williams back pedals. Thumps it up. Ryan doesn't really get the chance to jump. He stayed down and nearly crumbed it. He did crumb it. Knocked it to Allen. McCluggage scrambles it away, but that won't work. Duggan picking the line up. Pressure's high here, isn't it, Scully, from the Eagles? A couple of big tackles to create a turnover in terms of winning a free kick, and then they've been set up really well behind the ball. Elliot Yeo previously just got himself into a bit of space where the ball was going to be dribbled out, and Duggan did the same then on this occasion. Shot a goal. The co-captain, who's been captaining most of the season in the absence of Oscar Allen, has kicked one this year. It's a big moment. And he blows his line there. That was a huge opportunity to keep the foot down.
Well, look at that pressure from West Coast. And Brisbane would have known this was coming. This has been the real question mark on West Coast. Can they bring consistent pressure? So if you're Brisbane, you want to calm your game down a little bit. You don't want to get it under control. Probably want to build their way up from a position like this.
Well, just even that kick in there from just get the composed kick, and then you're able to do this.
Up the wing they go, and the contested mark taken by Danaher, who was trying to draw the 50 as Barras was just lingering, holding on. Up by not having it. Danaher now. Send it long inside 50, and got up by Edwards, just nudging Hipwood underneath it, and able to take the mark.
Well, it's a real strength of Harry Edwards. He's played a fair bit of waffle this year. The one-on-one contested marking, that's what he brings to the table.
He's played in a win for a couple of seasons. Harry Edwards gets his chance with no McGovern. True, another one, getting an opportunity. Away to Marrick. Kicks to a 2-on-1. Lions favoured, and that's what Andrews does best. Dangerous ball, though, back through the corridor. Neil made it look okay. They can run and carry through Ashcroft from the centre circle. High ball, McInerney's push forward.
It's a great transition from the lines. A dangerous kick from Andrews, but it paid off.
And the handball and overlap run. Ashcroft from the middle with the finish. Terrific.
So maybe it's just establishing the pattern of the game. West Coast are playing straight line footy. They aren't actually switching the ball at all, Scurry. So predictable in terms of the way you get numbers to the fall of the ball. But if you don't, it opens up the other side of the ground. And this is what has happened. So Harris Andrew goes back through the middle, Lockie Neal. And you can see where Ashcroft comes from. He's just strolling along on a Sunday afternoon. I'll take that handball. Thank you very much. And it's not a nice goal from about 40 on out. But if you're playing straight line footy, it does open up the open side.
Such an important end for them, Will Ashcroft. It's his 5th possession of the day and a goal. And he just comes into that midfield, and you sort of forget they were missing him, but he really was such a young player, but so impactful.
A little bit of a lapse of concentration to let him run free there. Back in the middle, Bailey Williams, who still hasn't shaved off that mole. I thought he was told to. Bailey gets the clearance for the Lions, a wobbler. Edwards a toe on it. Duggan the crumb. Marrick all the way back to go forward. Barras to set it up. Chip kick to Yeo in the crowd. Yo's there on the build again.
Yeo tries to really just poke the ball up towards Bailey Williams, but Wilmot mopped it up. Dunkley to Berry. Now they can get it moving. Quick chain of handballs. Just missed Rayner though. And goes back in to try and find it. He's strong enough to swivel the hips. Got away from True. Drives the ball in. Danaher there. Barras in front. Eagles recover. Ball up.
Just enough from Harry Edwards to come and press that handball there from Danaher almost all the way through.
Chance here for the Lions inside 50. Danaher will do the ruck work against Barras, and he just nudged him out of the way, took it himself, and kicked the goal. Big Joe.
So West Coast are clearly leaving their ruckman outside D50 stoppages, or maybe this one's too quick, but Tom Barras v Danaher, it was probably a mismatch, but if you're not a ruckman, you don't quite know the craft. Joe Danaher thought, here we go, and he planned that all the way through. Brilliant craft by Joe Danaher.
Yeah, I think Williams is going almost everywhere McDonald goes, so, Oscar. McInerney goes. So I think the instruction's been, well, if he doesn't go in, you stay out with him. But you're right, it does leave you vulnerable when you haven't had much work in the ruck or in those one-on-ones around a stoppage.
You do need to approach those like a marking contest, and I think Tom Barris got that one wrong. He probably should have tried to lock him up, given Joe's athleticism.
It's an interesting watch though with this, the two ruck were just running with each other, create some pockets of space.
33 goals for the season now for Joe Danaher. Good pick up by True. Hammers it inside 50 in hope. The fists come. Wilmot the other way. Got it and gathered and got up. Cole. Jinby again just wobbles it inside 50 in hope. Chance for the leapers. Andrews. Joyce back into the lineup. A little nervous perhaps. Yo cut it off. Got it off. Again the kick in hope. Cut off. Banged away by Wilmot. No one's really looking where the kicks are going. And most of them are going to the opposition. Hoff.
Well, is that a bit high there from Cameron? Hoff's looking good. There's a couple of big one-on-one contests early in this match. One that we had to work really hard off ball and body Cameron, and then that one there.
As the rain returns, fist from Brain, got it to the deck. Duggan, top of the square. Allen. And the crowd rise again.
Just first to move, playing in front.
Absolutely. Well, he was actually behind. He started behind his opponent and was just first to move, got in front. And especially when the rain comes down, that's where it lands almost every time. Very difficult to get it out the back in this weather.
Yeah,
Fifth
rain's
game of the
falling.
season. Sorry, Kath. Fifth game of the season. He's been a little inaccurate. He's been a lot inaccurate. 6 goals to 12 and didn't score then.
And his body weight was all going backwards on that occasion. Just didn't quite commit to that one.
Sorry, Dwayne, rain is falling heavier down on ground level, and there's a fair bit more to come on the radar, so it could get a bit wet and scrappy.
Thanks, Gav. There's Jaden Hunt. Sends the ball. It was off the side of his boot, but it allowed Ryan to rise.
Wasn't drawn up, was it?
Good luck in these conditions. It wasn't drawn up that way. But importantly, what they've done a number of times is been in the right position to get repeat entry. So Hunt on this occasion chops it off. He gets it back in.
Sort of off.
Yeah, so there's some really good signs here if you're a West Coast Eagles fan, just the way they're defending the ground, particularly with this weather, a bit rainy out there at the moment, and probably more to come, as Kath told us.
100th game today. Started his footy career in the Waffle under Jared Schofield at Subiaco. Schofield coaching him today in his 100th game, but that one stays out to the right. But he started brightly.
Well, he started as the deepest forward, so that's what Jared Schofield knows. And I think at times he played Liam Ryan higher, a bit of a pressure forward, but it's in his blood to be the deepest forward, goal-kicking forward, so looking forward to see that today.
Wilmot was indecisive, and maybe that was all part of the plan to get it out wide to Fletcher. Good hands, use of the body. Young, but so much upside. Jasper Fletcher, game 31 for him. Pumps it down the line. Danaher crashed it to the deck and gets it out of play. So much an offer for the Lions. They've got the biggest win streak of any team in the comp going right now. Won their past 5 in a row after losing 5 of their first 7 games. 4th spot up for grabs for them if they can win this today.
They're in 13th about a month ago. The Lions rising on the table, looking dangerous as McCluggage on the boot, hit one in front, couldn't hang on to it. Jaden Hunt back to mop it up to Witherden. Out of defence, 3 Eagles there. Jack Williams got a tough bounce. Number reality kick to a contest, half forward. Leicester trying to nudge Waterman out, did really well. Then just scrubs a kick and it clean bowls almost everyone. Through to Hipwood, back to McCluggage. And twists and turns and takes his time to place the kick forward. Morris.
Eagles got an extra number behind the ball here, Merricks. Work back hard.
Morris is just going to set it up. Into the open side for Rayner. Berry went back hard into the pack as well as that rain tumbles a little heavier and it goes out of play.
Interesting watch there. Ruben Jinby is playing on Rayner. We've said it a couple of times. And it feels as though he's been a bit lost, Ruben Jinby, over the last 12 months or so. Wing, half back, half forward, been set the task tonight on that main player.
Another ruck again. Danaher took it clean, but good smother by Jack Williams. Barris to Witherden. Out of defence, Hoff. The kick to half back and Jones.
Every foray forward, the crowd rises for them, cheering them on. Cripps goes line to 2-on-1 though, and that was easy pickings for Harris Andrews to kill. Could have marked it perhaps, but he just wants to spoil the fun at the moment. He's got a smile on his face. Adam Simpson, Justin Langer with him, and Jared Schofield, a big moment for him. Premiership player in his own right, Jared Schofield. 7 weeks to play with. Hands and knees, Neil. Zorko's having an outstanding year. To McCluggage. Inside to Fletcher. Inside to Bailey. A little bit of treatment late, so play on advantage for Dunkley. The free kick downfield. Dumped away by Witherden. Got it to the middle. They're on again. Jinby, Duggan, evades one. Gave it up. Back to Witherden. Open side if they can get possession. They can't. Little fumble from True. Cavalry arrives. Berry hands it to Dunkley. Cameron off. Cameron used his body. And his wisdom. Off. Stood his ground. And went and got it. Gave it to Hunt. And they're out. Short. And well delivered to Marrick.
Well, it's a good contest, isn't it, Brady Hoff? The Charlie Cameron. You've got to be really careful getting in front of Charlie Cameron because he loves that. Holds his bar under the ball and then goes out the back.
Marrick is drafted as a forward and finding his way up the ground a bit more. Allen just mistiming the run. And the leap. Andrews to intercept. And now the pressure comes. It's flipped back. I thought you got to back away from Ryan and then Zorko. Pluggage been busy. Disposal number 9 for the first term for Brisbane, and he'll pump it in long. They've got a couple of options there. Hipwood out the stretch. Morris there too. Barris wanted the boundary. Couldn't quite find it. Witherden's not sure where to go. He wants Cole. Stays in. They're foxing in the corner. Like it's the 95th minute. They're playing by the corner flag.
I'm not sure what was happening there. Look, the connection inside 50 there. Watch this one.
Well, I think they both saw the Neil Bourne free a couple of weeks ago and realised you can't actually just hand it over the line. Danaher wreaking havoc as a ruck. Oh, that's a great tackle. Strip tackle, not a free kick according to the umpire. Kelly caught, didn't find his boot, no free kick. McCluggage tackled by 2. Umpires put the whistle away for a few seconds and then says, I'll have it.
I think Danaher has pushed his opponent under the footy 4 times in a row here, 1-on-1 in the ruck.
So again they tie up. Danaher again got a bigger piece of it. Neil harder at it. Bailey can't trap it. Cole thumps it out, got it to Duggan. Big hip and shoulder on Cripps. McCluggage put him down. Hot ball to win right now. Hoff couldn't get it. Rayner does. Opens up space. Heads toward goal. Across the face. And it hits the behind post. It's on the full.
Yeah, it's a hot contest at the moment. Plenty of bumps and Cam Rayner, geez, he's a strong player, isn't he? He's trucking tackles.
That gather and then acceleration away from the contest. Just couldn't quite finish it, but you can see the threat that he poses and why this Brisbane Lions forward line can score so heavily. They've got so many options.
This guy's got a couple of numbers in the back pocket. Jimmy.
He moves it quickly, the numbers down the line.
Lions rolling their defence across the field. Reed let the fly. And he tried to take him, but spills at the back for Edwards. Created enough of a contest for the Eagles to move it forward. And it's Jones who leads up. Screaming for it at the top of the square is Waterman. Jones sends it in that direction. Waterman to leap. Put up by Berry. Spills at the back. Jack Williams just casually dribbles through a goal.
It's really smart work from Jack Williams. So he's rocking at the moment with Joe Danaher. Joshua McInerney is off the ground along with... That's just really smart play. He said to Joe Danaher, you come and defend. You're a player that plays predominantly in the forward line, pinch it every now and then, but I'm going to drift forward, see if you can go all the way to the goal line. And this is a guy who's getting his opportunity with Jack Darling out of the side. A lot of people have been wanting to see him out there and doing his thing.
And he does something every game, Jack Williams. I've seen him play where you go, right, he's a player for the future. So clearly Jack Darling's been the one to be left out for him, but this is the reason West Coast moving forward with youth like Jack Williams.
The opportunity for someone like Jack Williams or across the next 6 weeks to try zone. True's out there, Luke Edwards, Harry Edwards coming to the side. Lots of opportunity for these younger players.
Came on a sub last week, Jack Williams, replacing Kyler Brockman. And game 23 for him, they picked 57 from 2021. It's Bailey Williams, Oscar McInerney tie up in the ruck. McCluggage tried to keep his feet. Reid and Dunkley, the ball's in there somewhere. Is it or not? Yeah, it is. Holding the ball. Dunkley quickly to Neil. Bailey. Wilmot. And now he goes. Danaher might not get there for the levy. He did in the end. Ball floated. He's kind of looking at Hipwood, waiting for Hipwood to go, and then Hipwood was out of position. Good spot for a ball up here. Good contest. Effort high from the Eagles, as you'd expect after the week they've had. Toe off the deck. Jones was close enough. No, he wasn't close enough. He would have thought they might have got away with insufficient intent there, but the noise of affirmation from the crowd tells the umpire they don't really believe that was a correct call.
Not many incorrect calls against the Eagles happen at the stadium.
Bailey, long, Barris trying to spike it down. Feet, Danaher scrambling, and it's rushed through. He could have tackled then, Joe, but he was just trying to sag off a little bit. We see this one again.
Yeah, insufficient attempt.
Saw it a lot.
Wayne Jones very close to that one, but
A lot last night. Players, if they don't elect to pick it up and they just soccer it towards the boundary, a little more likely to be pinged for insufficient intent, but
It's in a contest, that one. He's just trying to
Exactly.
get some territory.
and when it's wet conditions as well. A lot of players around. Footy is Wilmot mops it up. Way now to Neil. Pokes it to half forward.
It's a great kick from Lockie Neal.
Finds Hipwood, and the connection between the two big forwards is excellent.
It's the one from Lockie Neal. So that's been, I guess, his shift in his game. He's been an ability to hit the scoreboard, but then use the ball so well over the last, I'd say, 6 to 8 weeks. Look at this kick here. So important to just hit the forward, and then he just turns straight away. He knows that someone's going to his leg.
it's funny how much these taller forwards always have a nice connection. They know when they want it kicked and how they want it kicked as well.
It's his set shot history from this position all round through his career. He kicked 17 goals in 6-4-0 last week. He only got one today, but will not get that one to straighten enough.
Pretty even contest right now. Chris Fagan would be, I guess, pleased with them matching the intensity that Jared Schofield and his new team has brought today. But Eagles are certainly up for this contest and transitioning the ball pretty well.
Witherden quickly to Ryan. They're on the same page. Witherden faked, but he was going one side, but Ryan was on that big sweeping lead. It was always headed in his direction. That wasn't the plan night. Turnover. Zorko feeds it wide. Bailey bangs it long. Archie under it. Jimby tried to kill it. Missed it. Loman. He's a bit of a freak show to watch at times, Kyle Loman. Can't nail it from the pocket, but he was always going to have a crack at it. He's got high belief in his ability.
Top of the square, I think, on that occasion. Dwayne. Danaher was right there.
Yo with a good mark. Dangerous ball. They want to switch things up though and go quickly. Feeding the ball through Liam Ryan. And now the overlap run from Jimby. And the support from Marek. He has good foot skills. Kicks the ball up to half forward. Tripp's got a push.
Well, he played pretty well there, Jamie Cripps. Les Stowe's a pretty reliable defender.
Cripps marks out. Drives for distance. From 50. Jamie Cripps goes all the way.
Well, it's the transition going in that's hurt Brisbane this quarter, hasn't it? West Coast at all costs trying to go quick, and at times it hasn't worked, but at times it has. And when they've got it to move and they've got the runners and the handball receivers, it's really troubling this Brisbane Lions side. They want to set up behind the ball. They've got a great back line when it's a little bit slower, but with West Coast taking the game on, I think it's not really the way Brisbane want to play.
No, they're one of the best teams at stopping the turnover game. There's the free kick. It wasn't a huge job on it, but Jamie Cripps does the job from just outside 50. It's a really nice finish, but against competition that can defend your back half transition, Brisbane. They find it really hard opposition teams to score against Brisbane in that transition game, and yet the Eagles are taking it to them right now.
Well, Chris Fagan's got to be a little edgy. Yes, they expected it. They're countering it is another thing. They're up for the fight, the Eagles. McInerney scrambles it. Charlie Cameron gets down low and takes it. Oh my goodness, that hurts. 50. That's nasty. Looking at each other to find whose fault it was.
I think Harley Reid in pass.
Yeah.
Was he? He's the one it looks like was paid against. Well,
This is the protected area.
you're a big fan of this one,
Not
Scott.
a fan of the protected area. Well, if it doesn't impact the play, if this did impact the kick or didn't allow Cameron to have a proper kick at it, well, fair enough.
Gets a boo. Got a bit of time in WA. This is a gift. I won't play country roads, but it's as big a gift as he's ever had.
He's angry. Charlie Cameron, the fibbing going on there between he and Brady Hoff and Tom Barris.
Well, I think Brody Hoss probably had his measure for
Yeah, he
the
has
first
this
quarter, and as a backman, you'd be disappointed. Now let's watch it. Harley Reid drifting past. Well, that's probably there, isn't it?
Yeah, that one's there.
Because he's drifting past. Charlie Cameron might want to go there, and you've got to get out of the way. It's a free kick every day of the week.
And so you're saying,
But if that's on the other side, it was on the other side, but it doesn't affect things.
you've
He's having
been very strong on this
Well, so
one.
he's having a protected area if it doesn't impact the game.
Yeah.
But that impacts the game, so it's a free kick.
So the rules should be there.
At times.
So the 50 given away by Harley Reid. The 299th goal for the Lions for Charlie Cameron. And quick, out of the centre, they find Hipwood. The Lions a chance to kick a couple late.
Just so crucial centre square clearances, isn't it? Oscar McInerney gets his boot on that one. It was influential in the last one that it resulted in the goal.
And forwards playing in front, both of them. And the same play here. It's a quick kick out, and you play in front, you get rewarded, especially on a day like this.
Okay, much more direct than that. Ruckman straight to the forward. And Hipwood to line them up off the long run. He's got some big bags of goals this season. Got a good look right behind the kick, and it swings through beautifully.
Well, Bailey Williams has been set the task today to take on one of the supreme ruckmen in the competition, the Big O, and it's been a pretty good battle. It's going to be set to begin with, but just on that occasion got pushed out the way, and then it's good play. Just first to move. We talked about that down the other end with Oscar Allen recently, but just pushed out the way. Williams. And there's not much you can do as a defender on that occasion when there's no extra numbers behind the ball. Potentially a roll-off from a teammate on that occasion, but that's a nice finish though.
Yeah, it is a nice finish. You've got to be on your toes, don't you, as a defender, because the forwards always are. The forwards are anticipating that short kick out. And Eric Hipwood, one of the best in that regard too.
Team Jake Waterman's been down in the change rooms. He's just re-emerged and seems okay, but just chasing up with West Coast as to what the go is.
Thanks, Kath. Kelly off the side of the boot. Reid knocks it down. Berry goes and gets it. Milestone for him, game 150. The Big O having an impact. Slaps it forward to Big Joe. Rayner, spear pass out wide. Charlie Cameron, Hoff, Cameron, boundary.
And enjoying that matchup. It's one to watch just on Jake Waterman. We saw him before the game, didn't we? We were down at ground level. He was talking to the doctor about that left knee that was heavily strapped, and he had that huge gash and wound on it a couple of weeks ago. Maybe it's a shoulder. Has that been strapped?
No, it looks like his knee's freshly strapped to mine, so I know he's been having issues with it over the last couple of weeks.
15 to 16 stitches in it. That match against the Hawks. Lions doing well at the clearances. Luggage and Neil just couldn't work it out. Neil burrows back in again. Strong tackle. And we'll get a ball up.
So the clearances in favour of the Lions, 5-1. Just getting territory so important on a day like today where it is wet and slippery.
Watch for the push under here from Joe Danaher.
Slaps it wide. Luggage to ground. Duggan just takes it over the line. You do enough to keep that in. Give it the benefit. It'll be thrown in.
Umpire almost, it looked like he was right there. He was almost about to pay that as a try.
See Luke Shuey, who's looking after the midfield today. Jared Schofield, head coach.
Step up for Luke Shuey, got the mids and the stoppages.
2 rolls tonight.
McInerney. Bailey Williams flicked over the back. Cameron on the burst. The kick goes across the face, and that will do it for the first quarter. Well, the effort and the intent certainly there from the Eagles. Charlie Cameron getting a goal after the 50-metre penalty as the Lions kicked a couple late. Get on the fitness of Jake Waterman. Second quarter not too far away. It's the Lions leading it by 8 points.
All right, there we go, folks. I tell you what, not a bad first quarter. But it's the Lions 4-4-28 leading the Eagles 3-20. I tell you what, the Eagles have certainly come out to play for their new interim coach there. Of course, Adam Simpson stepping down. Let me go back. Jared Schofield, now the interim coach there for the Eagles. Unfortunately, Harley Reid gave away that silly 50-metre penalty, just getting a little bit close to the man on the mark. And that put them down there and snagged a goal. They got a couple late, unfortunately. But let's hope the Eagles can keep this pressure up and have a good game here. Tell you what, so it's a pretty fast-paced game, and it's going back and forth. The Eagles sort of got their goals came, with good lead-ups, etc. like that. 4 goals, 4. Not too bad. As I said, the Eagles started well. The Lions came back. The Eagles had their turn. Then the Lions came back again. Let's have a little bit of a quick look at the player stats there. And, of course, there's your man there, Hugh McCluggage. Don't forget your luggage. He's got 11 disposals. Yeah, he started off pretty well with 6 kicks, 5 handballs, 2 marks, 3 tackles, 1 clearance. And, of course, Lockie Neal came into the game late really, really well. There were 10, 4, 6 handballs, 1 mark, 2 tackles, 3 clearances. Let's have a little bit of a run down. Have a look at this. Witherden with 8, Wilmot with 8, Hunt for 7, Marrick with 6, Dunkley with 6, Danaher with 6, Mr. No Handball. Although if we actually have a look, see Mr. No Handball, 6 disposals, he's had 5 kicks and 1 handball. He had that handball because he was tackled, but he scored a goal, so he hasn't done too bad. 2 marks, 2 clearances. There we go. Let's roll down a little bit more. Dang it, Eagles aren't going very good. No, they're not going too bad. They just gave away a couple of late goals in the end of that first quarter, 1 through 50, and and then another one quick late. But don't be too disheartened. They're playing pretty good footy, the Eagles. At the moment, we like the pressure they're bringing. Of course, whenever you get a new coach step in, the players seem to lift a fair bit. So let's hope they continue. All right, let's go and see who's actually scored these goals. What do we had? We've had 7 goals kicked. Whoops, it's a little bit quick. But there we go. We've got Williams, Waterman, Hipwood, Danaher, Cripps, Cameron, Ashcroft, all single scorers here at the moment. While we just have a quick look at the team stats, let me have a little bit of a look. All right, so we're still a few minutes away before we start again. We've got about a couple of minutes before we start. Just in the other game, folks, if you're interested, GWS Giants, 27 minutes into the third quarter, lead the Tigers 82, the Giants 58, the Tigers. Disposals, pretty much the same, 80-93, not much difference there. Kicks and handballs with the Lions are doing a little bit more link-up work with 36-27. Inside 15. Inside 50s, pretty big numbers there for the Lions, 18-11. Does the efficiency, they're going pretty good at 75% each. And, of course, there we go. The Eagles' efficiency, not too bad, sitting at 63, well above their season average. Lions at 50. Free kicks, 3 each. I wish they'd have the 50-metre penalties there, but 3 each. One was a 50, and, of course, they got a goal out of it. You bet Eagles are going to win. There we go, Daniel. I tell you what, I hope they do. I hope they do for a few teams that are sitting around them. Hit-outs, 7-9, pretty similar. The clearances, though, Lions well on top there, 15-4. And of course, the centre clearances, the Eagles need to pick up here. And I think Harley Reid's there in the centre. He needs to really bustle his motor through. Lions there 5-1. The stoppage clearances, the Lions well on top in all clearances. Contested possessions, well, it's a little bit similar, I think, there at the moment. Turnover 17 each. That's coming through a little bit of the pressure from both teams. Marks 23-20. Marks inside 54-3. Eagles way. Contested marks 3-4 for the Lions. Let's go and have a look at the tackles. The tackles 11-3. Both bringing their pressure, but the tackles inside 50. Yeah, 7 to the Lions, none to the Eagles. Eagles need to lift that part of the game up. The 1%ers 11-14. Both sides doing pretty well in that aspect. So there you go. We're back out on the ground. Players are taking their positions. Let's go back. Let me just scroll that up quickly. All right, let me get back over here, and we'll take it back for the start of the second quarter. Good luck. Come on, Eagles. Let's make it a good game. Addy G and Karaoke Channel is in the house. G'day, bro. What's going on? They have a good chance, Adrian. I picked Brisbane. That's it. Here we go. We're about to bounce.
Really hurt as a team.
We've got a game on our hands. Second quarter underway. First clearance will be an interesting watch. The Lions threatened to win it. McCluggage worked out of it by Yo, who tackled Neil. Reid couldn't take it. Loman was clean in the congestion. McInerney, peel away from him. Big Ruckman can just send it inside 50. Off again with that lunging spoil. Post to Cameron. Fletcher with the bump. Duggan in there. Cameron locks him up. And we'll get a ball up.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that match-up a bit more. Harley Reid comes in.
Liam Duggan's copped a knock to the head here.
I think he's had the back of his head on the ground.
He has had some concussion issues this season already, and the players from West Coast immediately showing their concern.
Well, it's been a strong part of the community and a good bloke, hasn't he, Charlie Cameron? So I've seen one of these earlier on in the year that can get off.
Let's have a look at it.
Pushes him in the down. That's it. In the tackle.
Fall to the ground, the back of his head hitting the turf. Liam Duggan, who had a nasty concussion already earlier this season. Not going from the field.
Not too long ago, that one. And he missed some games because of it, so not sure we'll see Liam Duggan again today.
Yeah, he's looking pretty dazed as he makes his way to the bench, but good to see, as you saw on screen there, Jake Waterman back on the field, so he got that right knee re-strapped.
It's going to be an interesting one for the match review officer to interpret.
Gets hit the ground, and if we're going to follow the way the tribunal's gone, it's probably weeks for Charlie Cameron.
It's a different type of action to some that we've seen. There's Reid, goes after it. Kelly, Yo, back for Reid. And bursting away from stoppage. Just a bullocking run from Harley Reid. He ran out of room. Logan's kick smothered. Neil on the boot. The wrestle's going on between Zorko and Reid. The footy goes inside 50. And Edwards can intercept as Reid and Zorko continue to go.
Yeah, he had a big shot to Luke Shuey at quarter time. Luke Shuey was having a chat to him saying, hey, we need a bit of lift from you. We only had the 1 or 2 disposals, two of those to quarter time. And I think it might have been a bit about his off-ball run and defensive run, but he's heard the message.
To Hoff from Witherden. Some spot fires. Some spice in it now. Charlie Cameron. And Liam Duggan tangling. Play might have almost stopped as well. And Cameron continued with that tackle. Hunt finds it long and wide. Big flight. No Mark Bailey-Williams. Joyce. Neil. Ashcroft pulls his kick late. Dragged down Logan Morris. Had to get rid of it. McCluggage okay with seeing it out.
There's a fair bit in this one. You can see this with Harley Reid. Tried to run over Zorko and he wasn't happy with the treatment. Back and forward. There's a bit off the ball in this as well. Charlie Cameron and Brady Hoff going pretty hard and aggressively against each other.
Boundary throwing. Williams there. Reid again trying to burst. Didn't really get a disposal away. But the free kick will go for the hole. The tackle lingering and that going on after the fact.
See Harley Reid trying to inject himself into the game a little bit more. So well, Pavey. Didn't have too many touches in that first, and I think Luke Shue would have asked him to get more involved in the game.
He wants to step the big ruckman, who's not having any of it, and then tries almost to trip in the end. Reed just able to wriggle away. Kick inside 50. Andrews pointed Allen, who went flying. McKenna round his body. Ryan the six. He couldn't bring it down. Out of play. Bit of everything going on out there.
Yeah, it's good. There's a bit to watch, which is good. Liam Ryan, we've seen so many of those great marks over his career. Been underneath a couple as well, so I'm not sure who was underneath that one, but did well to not end up on a postcard.
Bailey Williams, Oscar McInerney. Oscar's been getting his hand to it first. And they can't get the clearance this time. The Big O. Only one Brownlow vote in 141 games for the Big O. Doesn't feature that heavily in the top three, but he sets up a few others to feature in the top three, like a Lockie Neal. Quite often.
Yeah, he's getting Lockie and Hugh McCluggage into the game. They both have the 12 disposals. Tim Kelly, Elliot Yeo, Harley Reid, need to get moving.
And there's Ashcroft and Josh Dunkley as well. His last three games have been his best possession games of the year. So he's having an outstanding season off the back of a little bit of help from the Big O. Hacked inside 50. He could attack from McKenna, but he left it behind Jones. Got it up Merrick. The handoff. Waterman wasn't on the same page. Goes back, gets it, gave it off. Cripps has already had a highlight. Gave it back to Hoff. They're going back to go forward. Jimby. This is the money kick. Sends it long. Ryan. And there's the killer. Thou shalt not pass. Harris Andrews. Thumps it out of bounds.
You would have loved that one, Will Schofield. That's
Absolutely.
back.
Oh, Harris Andrews, tell you what, one of the best, I think, the best defender in the competition, Harris Andrews.
Looked like the Balrog himself coming across to spike that one out of play. A big defender. As in front, Williams knocks it down.
This is better from West Coast, just creating repeat stoppages. So I'm sure that would have been a message from Luke Shuey, who's taking care of that at quarter time. Just can't allow Brisbane free run out of the stoppage.
Kelly just got a boot to it. Cripps trying to knock it to his advantage. Neil hunting after it. Shove on Cripps into the fence. Little apology.
Well, it's the clearance game, isn't it? Because there's not much of a difference in hit-outs. Oscar McInerney isn't dominating hit-outs, but Brisbane are dominating clearance, so West Coast need to shut that area of the game down.
Martin, still the 8 points it was at quarter time. McInerney down to the front. Neil again busy. Tackled strongly by Yo.
And people at home
And they
are
have
thinking,
a little bit to say to each other as they go face to face after the tackle.
yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of rivalry there from the Derby days and others, but people at home probably think, why is clearance so important? Well, on a day like today, wet and slippery.
Pinched off the boot of True by Yo. Fletcher on the boot, up the wing. Edwards underneath. Did just enough to knock it out of his hands. Jane Hunt with a big bump there on Loman. Zach Bailey. He couldn't get it away. His body's falling everywhere. And now it's Luke Edwards. Able to send it forward. Waterman. Through the back. Wilmot. Plays a bit of tunnel ball. Ryan in there. Ryan's had the extra number. Joyce. And then smashed over the line. There's Fletcher. It'll be about in front.
Yeah, the intent's there from both teams. Bodies flying, you called it perhaps. Really good intent. You can see the time in the forward half though. This has been the response from quarter time. Chris Fagan knows all about. There's the clearances as well. So territory gives you repeat opportunities to score.
Edward having a sit down. Yo, backed into a jam. Ryan. There's a kick bounce to get it to his man Allen. Kept it in front. Wrapped up quickly. Joyce fighting hard. Harris Andrews. Dara Joyce back into the lineup this week. 7th game for the Lions, replacing Jack Payne from last week's team. 13 games for the Saints. Didn't go back home to Ireland. The Irishman stuck around hoping to be picked up, and the Lions picked him up. Hammered towards the wing. Hoff should get there first. Charlie stalking him. Danced his way past Charlie. Shrugged him. That'll feel good. Heads out wide. Yo used his body to perfection, but Lester came and met it, and Yo met him. And we'll get a ball in.
This is the exact game that Jared Schofield would have wanted. They're locking the ball in their forward half. Yes, they haven't scored, but this is the type of match that coaches love to set up. It's in there. It's a chance to score.
9th coach of the Eagles, Jared Schofield. He'll fill in for a few games across the journey. Good tackle by True to win it free.
Another example, it's a forward half turnover from pressure. So Zane True comes into the game. He's got a point to prove.
True spots Yo. Within range.
Yeah, he's within range. Zane True has been the most informed waffle player over the last 5 or 6 weeks, and he's earned his spot. He hasn't just come in because he's young. Zane True's been pretty impressive today.
There you go. Leading the way with tackling for the Eagles over the last month, averaging 10 a game. Hoping to have some impact on the scoreboard from 50. Certainly within range. Perfect strike. Elliot Yo watches it go.
A big moment here as well. That's all the players getting around Elliot Yo.
It's been a tough few weeks for him. Elliot Yo after the passing of his father. Players showing that. West Coast certainly right in this game, 2 points.
Great chase with the footage there to show what we've been talking about, locking in your forward half, giving it a repeat opportunity. Nice little bit of space that opened up Elliot Yo, and he's always been a wonderful kick from outside 50.
You can see Elliot pointing up at the heavens. On that Craig passing away. And it's the third game back, I think, for Elliot. It's been a really tough few weeks for his family. And I'm sure Craig will be watching now. Proudest punch with that one.
Tyler Brockman's just taken his top off down on the bench as well, so it looks like West Coast are going to activate their sub following that Liam Duggan, what looked like concussion.
Skamakin and he rips out of the air. Thanks, Calf goes long. Archie can't mark it. Logan Morris kept it in front. Gave it to Joe. Couldn't work the miracle there. Great spot of Harry Edwards. And he gets a huge round of applause and high fives from his teammates as well.
Just a bit of spirit there, Dwayne, from the players. I think it's been lacking at times this year, but desperation from Edwards, and then it's well recognised from Barris.
And it feeds on itself. Ripped out of the right, Jack Williams. Not quite. Ashcroft. Dragged down, and even the tackles are being celebrated. Hunt. Weaved his way past a couple. Got it to Cole. Makes it someone else's problem. High bomb. Andrews. He'll have a skin on that fist by the end of the night. Dunkley. It's in there. The umpire says, I'll have it.
Well, Harris Andrews, going to be a difficult day for Oscar Allen, isn't it? And that pressure gauge, West Coast still high, but Brisbane have now lifted
That's
to
off
their
the
level.
ring disco.
Absolutely.
Both sides really going at it. One goal in the quarter going the way of the Eagles. Just close the gap a bit, but here go the Lions into the pocket. Archie's up, crunched by a couple. Barris the first to recover. Did want to get a handball away. Cameron running out of room.
So now it's Brisbane's turn to get a little bit of forward pressure or entry, repeat entries into their forward half. Can the Eagles defence hold up after what's been really, for the first 7 or so minutes of this quarter, all West Coast been able to kick that one goal though.
Stoppage inside 50 for the Lions. McInerney cleanly down. Jinby, Jaden Hunt barreled over. Well done by Dunkley. Forced the ball forward. Just scuffed the kick across the face. Danaher going to keep it in play.
Scurrying across there. Brisbane are now going to loose behind the footy, so they're well set up behind the ball. They're looking for repeat entries here, repeat stoppages. Can they keep it in here and keep this pressure up? But like you said, is the very high pressure going this one.
A lot of players around this boundary throw in. Jack Williams to the front. Reed couldn't get it out there. Well tackled by Archie. Kelly to Luke Edwards. Goes with a high ball. But Shadow Brain can intercept. Switches it up now to McKenna. Go around the top of the 50. Barris to ground. I thought he was taken high. Another opportunity. And Dunkley somehow got it to roll the perfect way.
Tom Barris on this occasion not happy with the decision. He thought he was interfered with, but you caught it beautifully. Perhaps just Dunkley just heads up play, staying involved. So the ball comes in. Is there a grab of the arms or is it high? But look at that, just smart, stays involved.
You don't often see the footy roll that way. It's probably a bit more end on end, but it just rolled over itself.
Executed it perfectly, didn't he? Josh Dunkley, smart, just staying involved.
Happy with it. Yeah, got a couple of kicks in, and Gets the goal through. He started well, hasn't he? 11 disposals. Such an important part to this Brisbane Lions midfield. When they're rolling, he's playing well. Just a couple of clearances to his name, but I'm sure they'll keep lifting as well.
Yeah, 35 possessions, a goal and 7 clearances in the win last week, and 32 possessions, 7 clearances the week before that. Joe gets his clearance, but Dunkley helps him out to Neil, the usual suspects. Dunkley, Neil to half forward. Airport tried the quick flick. Didn't work. Good tackle laid though. Hunt. Did he keep it alive? He didn't. He gave it to Brockman. So the sub is now on Tyler Brockman. As Kat told us, Liam Duggan is off and has been subbed out due to, we think, his concussion again. He got the head rammed into the deck. And the Charlie Cameron tackle. And the MRO is going to have a good long look at that. Edwards scrambles it away. Luke Edwards to the wing. Allen, Andrews, Allen, Lester having an outstanding resurrection season to Wilmot. Behind McCluggage. Taken out, a little help from Tyler Brockman. Get a ball in.
Tough day so far for Oscar Allen. Just the one disposal. He's obviously got a very good defender on him in Harris Andrews. And the ball hasn't come in silver surface. It hasn't come to him on a platter, but he needs to find a way to get into the game.
Jack Williams a hit out. Berry got it to Danaher. Tumbling ball up to the 50. Hit with Edwards to ground. The holding free kick was there.
Yeah, good positioning from Edwards. He actually showed a lot of intent and won a couple of big contests. He'll be desperate to take this opportunity, whether it's today or across the next 6 or 7 weeks.
Once played in win. Harry Edwards, round 19, 2021. He's missed a few of the victories the Eagles have had. Limited off through that period.
I think he's leading the comp in consecutive losses at the moment. Perhaps you'd be all over that.
That he is. A few Kangaroos in front, but then obviously the Roos won a game here a few weeks ago, which reset the pecking order.
Now, on that Harris Andrews Oscar Allen matchup, shows how important Ryan Lester is. So Ryan Lester's going to Jake Waterman, who's up there in the Collin medal, but allows Harris Andrews to go and play on Oscar Allen.
Ashcroft in and under. Dunkley feeding it forward. Archie beeline the footy. Edwards tackled Dunkley without it and got into his back.
Particularly with Payne out for quite some time now. It's a big role to fill, and you're right. Lester's such a crucial player to Lions.
Dunkley. All players inside 50. Morris was there. Edwards a good spoil. Clean ball McCluggage. Jack Williams just waiting for the contact, and then Cole turned into trouble, and he's gone.
Probably not who you want to be turning into. I thought Cam Rayner, big body. You see a smile on Tom Cole's face. He was going absolutely nowhere.
And loose checking. I saw it a bit against the D's last week. Just the players switching off once a free kick or a mark's paid inside 50. Sure, a degree of difficulty on the kicks a little bit tougher for Loman, even though he is closer to goal.
I'm not sure Rayner tried to push him that far into the pocket, but he was definitely on. But we did see it a lot last week.
Sort of player that'll kick this guy.
Certainly capable. Perfect view of it. By Loman. Drop punt, but it stays out to the right hand side.
Difficult pocket, that one.
And you're right about the switch off factor. There's a number of factors that I'll no doubt analyse. Coaching, one of them. Recruiting, development, fitness, but effort is another one. Manning up on guys in situations like that.
It's a non-negotiable, not just at AFL level. You teach that to kids when they're coming up. Don't switch off.
Harris heads long. Williams crashed it, got it down. McKenna scrambles a kick, but it'll wobble its way to Hunt. And weaves his way past a couple. Chips it to the wing, nicely delivered. Jack Williams starting to get it a little bit. Crowd want him to go. They're telling him to go, and he does. Luke Edwards inside. Back to Hunt, who started all this. Heads long through the hands of Cripps. Brockman, unselfish. Allen gave it back again. Big moment for Hutchinson. Kicks his first goal in AFL footy, and they come from everywhere.
His first goal in footy. Pretty good one too.
Great one, yeah.
You know, dream that one up. Watch him here, just follows the footy, stays involved. Good hand pass here from Oscar Allen. Just pulls out the check side, running at the boundary. And
I like that tap there from Brockman. Just smart, didn't have to bring it in and allowed the ball to keep flowing, get into some space. Oscar Allen the first give, and then that's a really classy finish. A moment he'll remember forever.
Pick 3 in this year's mid-season draft. Hasn't been in the club all that long. Game number 4. And his first goal. Certainly showing some signs of being a handy pickup. Just clarifying the 666 boarding.
So Will Ashcroft was just in there when he should have been out the wing.
Bailey Williams with intent with the hit out. Neil just so clean down low. Charlie Cameron got off for company all afternoon, and Hoff sees it to the boundary. Boundary throwing.
Yeah, really enjoying that matchup. Such a dangerous player is Charlie Cameron, but Hoff's right with him at this point in time. Centre clearances, though, you can see it on screen, 9-1. That's the concern. Hard ball gets as well as the other one. Just his weight of numbers. You can put up with, you know, a quarter here or some issues with your clearance work and winning the footy, but by the end of the day, that's going to be a huge victory for the Lions if it keeps going that way.
All the numbers, the Lions should be a fair way in front, but it's a 3-point game as that one goes out of bounds on the full.
Kath Lachlan just almost had Lockie Neal sitting next to her, I think, down there as he got pushed into the sands.
Won't repeat what he said.
All set long, and Bailey Williams. Under 10 minutes to play.
More straight line footy. West Coast almost putting away the switch, not even thinking about coming in board.
Reed. Step back through the tacklers. Jack Williams. Quick hands to Kelly. To Yo. Now the long kick. Inside 50. Marrick trying to judge it. Well done by Fletcher. Down to ground. Morris. Will clear it away and the foot race is on. Hoff leading Cameron to it. Trying to take possession. Cameron almost a little hold. Sees it to the line again. Hoff. And enjoying that battle. A good old-fashioned one-on-one challenge.
Great to see.
He's a bit taller than Charlie Cameron, but he's quick enough. So I think the taller players, it's a good matchup for Charlie Cameron. But you have to be agile enough. Like you can't just body him up. He's such an explosive player. But it's been a really good one to watch today.
As has the battle between Oscar McInerney and Bailey Williams, who works his way to the front, gets a piece of it down to Yo. Got it away. Kelly, the clearance specialist, clears it. Waterman stands under it. Joyce right with him. Happy to ride it to the line with a bit of help from Oscar Allen. And the crowd know, and the players know, the longer this goes, the longer they stay in it, the more confidence they'll have.
I think that straight line footy and contest work has been the slight shift. West Coast, we talked about them all year about wanting to take the contest on more and be more predictable, but perhaps that's been the shift from Jared Schofield.
They also look like they're playing with not a lot of fear or anything to lose. And it's a dangerous opponent to come up against for Brisbane. Is playing with pretty big freedom.
McInerney was able to hold Williams out. Ashcroft's kick only as far as with it. Lions by 3. Getting it through this second term.
Not looking to make the ground big at all. They're trying to make it compact.
The contest in the forward pocket. A few sets of hands. Marrick, Cripps, good tackle. Berry dispossessed him and won the free kick.
Great tackle from Berry. Just went low and hard, didn't he, and wrapped his arms around those hips.
Great season for Jared Berry. Game number 150 today, marking the milestone for Brisbane. Bailey lost it. Kelly, he lost it. Back to Bailey. Neal racking them up. And then Morris. Jimmy just couldn't close the gap. Neal up to 15 disposals. Morris is going to send it in. Pretty open forward line for Brisbane. Spoil away. Hutchinson doing it at both ends. Back there, working against Hickwood. Bit of a switch in position. Found himself back there against the big key forward. Wilmot. High ball. Long ball into the pocket. Archie at the front. Danaher at the back.
That's might have touched some hands on the way through, but very rarely they get paid. This is just a good positioning by Joe Danaher, really. He's read the flight of the ball really quickly. You can see. Might have been a little touch, but I doubt it.
It's too easy though, isn't it?
Yep.
It's way too easy. Right on the last line of defence effectively, and Danaher takes an uncontested mark.
Danaher to take the set shot. 45-degree angle, thumps it through. And the Lions get out to that handy little lead again.
off that turnover, West Coast. We found that difficult throughout the year, to be honest, and they won it all back with some pretty good contested defensive work by Brady Hoff and Hutchinson as well, but defending it off that turnover and in-out in play, Tom Cole get pushed out of the way too easily. This is the one. And you turn it over that quickly as a defence, it's very difficult to defend behind. As a forward, you're always going to be in a great position.
Just misread the ball, didn't they, some of those West Coast defenders? But even quarter, let's go for definitely, and the Eagles will definitely take this. Look, the better team for most of this quarter in terms of the territory game and getting it inside there forward half time, get an opportunity to score.
Mackinnon, he gets his own clearance and he just bump hard with Jimby. Right spot, right time, and he goes. It's the biggest margin that either team's had. 9 points. Heads long and getting back Joyce, who's earning his pay at the moment. Wants to stay in this lineup.
Gee, that was a good mark. He read it so well and so early and just held his position beautifully.
Shadow Brain, another one who wants to hold his spot. His team climbing up the ladder. Fletcher. Sun shining, rain stopped for the time being. Short pass is good. McKenna.
We haven't seen a lot of this build-up play from Brisbane. Dave Zorko usually one to get involved there. He's had just the 4 disposals today. It's because we haven't seen him too often. Here he is.
So Berry to Zorko, who might be all Australian bound, has had an outstanding year. That's just the required 14. Gives it back to Zorko on the flyby. Lockie Neal, down the spine they travel. Lyman hands it off. Brain, inside kick is delightful to Bailey. Obvious. One of the things that they know he can bring to the table, Shadow Brain. 20 years of age, still eligible for a Rising Star nomination. He's in game 4.
Look at that kick on the instep. It's a beautiful kick because West Coast defenders aren't expecting it to go there, but knew exactly what he was doing.
Effort's been fantastic from the Eagles. An emotional day. First game under Jarrett Schofield. Adam Simpson saluted pre-game, but can they stay with the Lions now? After a 15-point margin.
So contrasting styles right now between how both teams want to move the ball. As soon as Brisbane get it in their back half, they spread. Let's have a look at the lead up to this one. It's a good run from behind, good carry, drawing the players, smart ball use. But even before this, in their back 50, they're looking sideways, they're making the ground big. Whereas West Coast, every opportunity, they're playing straight line, predictable football, which can be good because if you win the contest, but it makes it really hard if you're not winning those big one-on-ones.
I think we'll see Brisbane play more like this as the game goes. West Coast are vulnerable to that sort of ball movement. A bit slower build-up, and then handball received through the middle of the ground. They haven't been a good side defending that all year, West Coast, and I think as this game goes, Brisbane will play more like that.
So much of it last week with Melbourne, uncontested marks and possessions.
The tackle from True in the middle. Holds McCluggage up, bursting out of the centre. That's wrestling with McInerney. Bailey with a good slap to knock it forward. Jimby, Ryan, elusive. Half back, he goes wide. This is called out by Jones. Now Yo. To half forward. Woodman best placed. In front, Wester did well just to get a hand to him. Zorko trying to get busier. McCluggage had an option. Just got the handball away. Brockman, Ryan, West Coast still in possession. High ball. Edwards found it. He was searching for the footy over his head. And now he can pass it around to Tim Kelly. They can go back for the set shot.
What a mark by Edwards. He was searching for it, wasn't he? And it must have come into his vision so late. Not sure if this chip to Kelly is 15 metres. Played the mark.
Great mark though. And then smart. Get a secondary straight away, Tim Kelly.
Tim Kelly, just the 2 goals for the season. He's actually kicked 7 behinds in a row. Tim Kelly. As he lines this set shot up. Been good from this spot through his career. From just inside 50. Just sneaks it in. Kelly breaks his own little drought. And the Eagles stay in touch in the half.
Yeah, he'd know that as well. He'd definitely know that he's missed lots of shots of goal. Just stuck in, you called it. Well done. Not sure if it was much between the ball and the point post, but here's the mark from Luke Edwards. Really, really clever. Didn't take his eyes off it, and then a quick secondary. Not a time to wrap a shot there, but Tim Kelly in the right spot. Nice little lead. That's what we've liked, though, having the pressure, the intent for both teams, but it's been a focus and a feature for West Coast.
West Coast on that pressure, haven't they? They've had to bring that because they've been dominated at stoppage. And so they've, to stay in this game, they have to turn the ball over and then score off it.
Big 3 minutes 25 coming up to half-time now. Eagles did lead early. McInerney. Williams got up. Almost Kelly backed out of a jam, but left the ball behind. McCluggage hammers it long. Danaher took his man down. He had Barris. The umpire had his eye on him, having Barris. And the crowd had their eye on him. Hanging on to Barris. It's been a fun watch. Not so much fun for Chris Fagan. Huge game for the Lions. They could be 4th or 9th, depending on whether they win or lose this one tonight. Edwards wrapped up. Ashcroft, make sure Edwards can't get away, and we'll get another ball up with 2:51 left.
Such a strong percentage, the Lions, from where they were a month ago. It's been an incredible rise. A lot of work left to do in this one, though. Keep from Rocky Neal clean bowling a few. Edwards, Jaden Hunt. Sponsor number 14. He's had a lot of it, trying to carry the footy up the wing. Not into read and out of play.
See, trying to get that rugby run going still West Coast. They're still trying to play that way. And change that all day, really. First bounce, they were doing that. Harley Reid still trying to get involved with Adam Simpson next to a couple of former players. Willie Rioli down the front with Lewis Jetta. Michael Crabb, Andrew Duff.
Applause as the crowd see them all up there. True. The high kick. Waterman crunched it. Created the contest. Knocked it down. Liam Ryan outside the boot. Andrews. Awkward but effective.
Little hush falls over the crowd. Dane Zorko wastes no time. Quick kick in. Brain took on Cripps and won. Hot pass is good. Wilmot. Again, chipping their way through them. McCluggage holds it up. Another chip. Zorko. Jermaine Jones to fall but not jump. But it wouldn't have been 50 anyway. The umpires aren't paying that now. Dunkley dumps it along inside 50. Archie front spot. Good spoil. Cole. Bailey. Manufactured a handball in the McCluggage direction. Along the boundary. Well, Hipwood put his head into that. Ball. That's how the umpire saw it too.
Yeah, well, it's well umpired. That's Pryor, isn't it? Look out. Dangerous ball. Will fall the Eagles' way. True trying to fight it behind his back. Globetrotter style. He's still got it away. Then Zorko pulls out his own trick. Volleys it forward. Archie, clever. Down to Dunkley. Opens up for the Lions. And Bailey. Can't finish. Little handballs on over the top there, I think, from Zach Bailey.
Nervous spot to be. The zone through there. Here's the work of Hipwood, who was caught holding the ball.
So quarterback in the NFL. Just setting it for him to take it. Yeah, I think there was a handball over the top there from Zach Bailey. Eric Hipwood was the man in the goal square with no one on him. I want to see those team actions continue even when you're playing sides while you're on the ladder.
Inside the last minute of this second term. McInerney down. Straight to Ashcroft. Quick kick. Again, the clearance win. Barris sliding in. The ball fell back to him rather than him dragging it in. It'll be a ball up.
Important for West Coast. 9 point, 40 seconds to go. They need to stand tall in this stoppage situation.
McInerney down again. McCluggage bursting clear. And the snap is askew.
Gee, Hugh McCluggage, he is so good in those situations. You see that so often, him bursting through the pack, shrugging tackles. You don't know how he gets loose sometimes, but he finds space always.
Three in the DNF the last 5 years. Him with Cluggage. He's found plenty of it today. 17 disposals. Consistent performer. Long ball out. Bailey Williams a tug. Athletically back to his feet. The seconds tick down to end the half. Andrews will crunch across with another big fist down. Ryan along the boundary line off the left boot. Out of bounds on the full. Just about to it for the second term. Jared Schofield. Charge his first match. Plenty to think about at the break. A competitive effort from the Eagles as down the line it goes. McInerney taking the mark. He's going to try the barrel from long range because there's no one back there, but it's going to fall about 45 metres short. Oscar gets the stat at least for him on the sheet. It is half-time. West Coast competitive. Brisbane hold sway. Big day for the Eagles as they farewell Adam Simpson onto the 2018 team. Watching on, it's the Lions by 10.
All right, how's that, folks? Hey, the Eagles are still in this game. It was a good first half. You're right there, Chris. Come on, Eagles, you can do it, Danielle. Let's hope that they can. And yeah, let's hope they come home with a victory today. Wouldn't that be an upset of the round? I tell you what. The pressure gauge was up to about 242 there and 241 for both sides. So the intensity is there for both sides. It's a great game to watch. There's a lot of run. It's a fast game. But yeah, Lions just seem to be able to hold the Eagles at the present moment. Let's hope that turns around a little bit and the Eagles can come on top. Of course, the Lions jumped out of that second quarter and the Eagles come back and then it was goal for goal. And the Eagles just got that extra goal. So, yeah, 10 points in it. It's not too bad. The Lions only won that quarter by 2 points. So, kicking 3 goals, 1 the Eagles to 3 goals, 3 the Lions. I tell you what, I'm excited for this second half. It should be a cracker, eh? Should be a cracker. And we're all cheering on. We're all cheering for the mighty West Coast Eagles. Let's hope they can do it. Not just do it for their supporters, but do it for all the other people that vote for the other teams as well. All right, let's have a little bit of a look at the stats and we'll see some of the players' stats, what's happening there. There we go. Lachie Neale's jumped out on top. He's leading the possession count with 18. He did pretty good, Lachie Neale, in that quarter. 11 kicks, 7 handballs, 1 mark, 3 tackles, 5 clearances. There you go. Hey, he's going all right. Hugh McCluggage, a little bit quiet in that second quarter. I think he only had about 5 or 6 possessions, but still doing his job. He had a shot on goal late with a banana off a clearance, but thankfully for the Eagles, that went left of post and just threw for a behind. So, yeah, that was good that it kept the margin. Josh Dunkley not having a bad game there. He's kicked a goal. 17 possessions, 9 kicks, 8 handballs, 1 mark, 3 tackles, 4 clearances also. Who else have we got? Jaden Hunt, 15. Tim Kelly, 14. Tim Kelly's not going too bad. And Yeo is not too bad either for the West Coast on 12. Tell you what, it's been a well-shared quarter by all players pretty much. Dane Zorko, a little bit quiet, just a 10 touches at the moment. Where's our good man from West Coast who need to stand up a little bit more? Harley Reid. I haven't seen him. Where are you, Harley Reid? Did I miss him? I just wanted to see where his possession count was. Why can't I see him? Harley Reid. While everyone's looking at their players with their stats. My gosh. What? There's Harley Reid. Have a look at that. He's usually a gun on fire. For the Eagles, he's only had the 6 touches up to half time, 2 kicks, 4 handballs. He's had 1 tackle, 2 clearances, but he is definitely one Liam Ryan lifts and it's game on. He's not going too bad. Where's Liam Ryan? See up a little bit more. Oh gosh, I'm not finding these plays, Chris. What am I doing? What am I doing? Or was I thinking of, was there a Pickett or a Ryan? We got the right player? I can't even find him. Can't even find him. But there it is. There it is. The rest of the stats for the players. That's right. There are a few players that are well behind on, you know, what they've got to do for their team, as I said. But they've got to get out there. Waterman started off pretty strong, kicking the. I think he kicked the opening goal, didn't he? He's only had the four touches though. He's only had the one kick. He's got to get into the game. He's got to fire also. Up top. Up top. All right, Liam Ryan. Where did you see Liam Ryan? Oh, there he is. Yeah, 10. He's had 10, 9 kicks, 1 handball, 5 marks. That's right. He needs to slot a few more goals. He's only had the 1 behind. I know we need to get some of those players that bring the crowd alight, the West Coast home crowd, to get them back, you know, keep them firing. But that, you know, that being said, West Coast, they haven't dropped off. They haven't dropped off at all in this game's first or second quarter. Their pressure's been off the charts a little bit like the Brisbane Lions. So they're really going well. I'm not sure where this West Coast team have been in recent times, but they're certainly performing pretty good, pretty high standard here today against the Brisbane Lions, doing it for their new coach. Joe Danaher, Mr. No Handball. Well, there you go. He's kicked 2 goals, 1. He's the leading goal scorer on the ground. And as we have a look from his 10 disposals, 3 kicks, 7 kicks, 7 kicks. But look at this, 3 handballs. Can you believe it? You'd never have known he'd handball 3 times out of 10 possessions. But he is the leading goal kicker with 2 goals, 1. Yeah, is on 1. Jack Williams on 1. Jake Waterman 1. Tim Kelly, Hutchinson 1. Hipwood 1. Dunkley 1. Cripps 1. Cameron 1. Bailey 1. And Will Ashcroft has 1 as well. Just as we normally do, we have a look at the fantasy points. If you play the fantasy point game, Hugh McCluggey still on top there of 70. Josh Dunkley coming up the ladder on 66. Lockie Neal 62. Yo 60. Tim Kelly 58. McInerney 48. Bailey 48. Zorko 47. He's been a little bit quiet, Zorko, the last few weeks. Yeah, I don't know if this will be his last season or he's going to go on again. But certainly he needs to take lead of Lockie Neal, who is still as dangerous as ever. The double Brownlow medalist. There we go. Liam Ryan, there's the man, 45 points on the fantasy. And even Joey Danaher, 45. Let's have a little bit of a look at the team stats. I'm pretty sure. Let me just reload that just to make sure that's correct. There we go. That's short. Disposals, pretty much the same. 167, 177. Kicks, about the same, 98, 109, not much difference there. Handballs, similar. Inside 50s, well, there you go, 35 to 22. Brisbane Lions on top in that department, but not really telling the whole story with 14 scoring shots to 9, but only 10 points of difference. So they're doing the job in the back line in defence. West Coast, come on West Coast, let's get inside 50, find your targets, and let's score a little bit more. Disposal efficiency, well, the Eagles have kept theirs up at around 73, and the Lions have dropped off a little bit. That's due to the pressure, thank goodness, from the Eagles. Inside 50s, well, the Lions, they improved that a little bit. So there we go. Eagles still above there. Free kicks 8 to 6. Yeah, okay, there you go. I think there's a few being missed, and I think West Coast have definitely missed a few free kicks from the umpire, unfortunately. Hit-outs, pretty similar, 20, 24. Clearances, well, look at the clearances, 33 to 13, all Lions way. and this is got to be concerning for the Eagles for sure. Only the 1 centre clearance where the Brisbane Lions have had 11. That is just massive. Now, as you can see over here on the left, the season's average for the Eagles is 11.3. Centre clearances for the year, well, that doesn't look too good at the moment. Let's start getting the mids taking the ball out of the centre, giving them first shot, first opportunity. Quick kick down to their forwards, give them the opportunity to put the score on the board. Whereas centre clearances for the Brisbane Lions, they are already on their season average. So that's something that needs to be addressed at half-time. Stoppage clearances, the Lions on top there. They're doing a great job around the clearances. Eagles need to tighten up a little bit there. Contested possessions, they're reasonably the same. Not much in that. Uncontested, pretty well similar. And the turnovers, 34-38, pretty similar in that department. But it's good to see that the Lions there have more turnovers. That's due to the good pressure coming from the West Coast Eagles. Marks around the ground, 38-40, pretty similar. Marks inside 50, there we go, 6-7, Eagles leading that. And contested, 5-6, there we go. Defensive tackles, here we have a look. The tackles, 30-37, pretty similar, but again, this is where Eagles need to lift their game. They've had no tackles inside their forward 50. They need to do a bit. That means that the Lions are getting it out well and too easy, where the Lions have had 14 already above. What's that? About 25% above their season average already at only half time. What about the 1%ers? Brisbane doing a little bit more of the 1%ers there, 31-21. Now, if this all stays the same as it's going to be right now, this is the live ladder as it sits. If Brisbane do win this game, we can see what's going to happen. They will jump to 4th on the ladder. And that will now push Port Adelaide out of the 8 on percentage. And, of course, West Coast still down there. I think West Coast just want to get up on this game for their new coach and give a bit of spirit back to their fans in the stadium. And, yeah, as I said, we're looking for West Coast win today. So Brisbane Lions sit back down here, and it keeps this section all tight. Although if you have a look at this, 44 points. Carlton are sitting second on the ladder. Port Adelaide with 40 points. You got eight teams there within one game. And then the next 4 teams down to 13, just a game away from the top 8. Tell you what, this is going to be one incredible second half of the season. Who's going to be in it? Who's going to win this year's grand final? I think everyone's got a chance this year at the moment. There we go. We're only 7 minutes away from the third quarter here. And then we're going to get back to the action. All right, a little bit of commentary going on down on the ground at the moment, although it's just a little bit of news there. So there we go. Impressive, says Chris. I'll tell you what, cracking game. You're not wrong. I tell you what, it is a cracking game. It's a great game to watch. It's a little bit like the Gold Coast Port Adelaide game. I tell you what, it's a fantastic game to watch, and it's a game that you're really not sure, even at halftime, who's going to take this game out, because it could flip on a dime and go anyone's way. It just, as I always say, if a team loses concentration and one team takes advantage of that, and then they get the momentum, it can swing, and they could probably put on, 4 or 5 quick goals. Janelle Meldrum, yeah, that's it. Come on, Eagles, you can do it. We're certainly all cheering for the Eagles with you. That is for sure. Liam Ryan, there we go. Up top, yeah, we found him. What team do you think is the worst in the whole of Australia? What team? Well, I think, I think at the moment, I think Richmond might be the worst team at the moment. And I think by that same by saying that Richmond are on the bottom of the ladder. They're definitely in a rebuilding stage. It does look like they haven't really got much passion to get out there and win, etc. like that. Whereas North Melbourne, even though they're sitting second bottom with 2 wins on the board, their form has been reasonably good over the past 4 to 6 weeks, even though they've lost. They've just won one of those matches in the past 5 weeks or so. So there we go. I think Richmond are in danger zone at the moment. They're in that rebuilding stage. And just for anyone with a note for the other game, we were taking note with the GWS Giants and the Richmond game. It's full time there in that game, and the GWS Giants took out that by 24 points. GWS were 108. Have a look at the GWS Giants were 17 goals, 6, 108. They defeated the Richmond Tigers 12-12, 84. So there we go. Another good win to the Giants. And that, of course, moved the Giants into 7th position on the ladder with a percentage that's not too bad, which is a little bit better than some of the teams that are around them. The one good thing with Brisbane here is they've got a pretty healthy percentage. They've got the second best percentage in the competition at the moment. So there we go. So yeah, I think Richmond at the moment are probably they're probably the worst team in the competition just at the moment. You know, I think all teams go through that patch. You know, when they've been on top, they've had such a good run, and then they got to rebuild, and then they don't get the drafts, etc. like that. I think they can fall away a little bit. I think one team that really held in good stead over that, you know, that great period they had, they sustained it, and that is Geelong. You know, they were good for a long time, Geelong, and they've been able to ride the wave there. They're doing well, a little bit like Sydney. Sydney have been in the finals for a lot of years and done well. So Sydney and Carlton are probably the 2 teams that have really held their form through a long period of time. All right, so we must be pretty close getting back to the start. We're only 3 minutes away before we head back to the bounce of the second quarter. I was hoping when Paul tipped the Brisbane Lions that that would mean the Eagles would get up for victory today. As we know, Paul's been a little bit unlucky with his tips. And haven't cracked them on. If we have a look at the poll that we've got going there, we've had 27 votes. We've got 52% saying the West Coast Eagles will win this game, and 48% saying the Brisbane Lions. So it's anyone's game. It's still anyone's game with just 10 points of difference. Both teams playing well here at Optus Stadium here in Perth. So there we go. The Lions 7-7-49 leading the Eagles 6-3-39, who are kicking pretty straight. 6-3 is not too bad. As I said, the Lions probably could have been a little bit more in front had they have kicked a little bit more accurate. But that's what happens. Sometimes you kick them straight. Sometimes you kick them a little bit skew-if. And there we go. All right, we're going to be coming back in a little over a minute, just waiting for the commentators to come back up on screen, which we'll be hoping for in just a second. Whoops. Let me just get that back. West Coast Brisbane from live. All right, so they're on an ad break there, and they will be back, and then we'll be straight back to the game. All right, I tell you what, I'm excited. I'm excited for this second half. I'm excited for the third quarter. Let's see what happens. Can the Eagles come out of the blocks hard? Let's hope so. Can the Lions hang on to a challenging Eagles? We'll certainly see. Not too far away. Not too far away. All right, where are we? All right. So, yep, we're just hanging here for the last minute before the game comes back on. Danielle, who do you think's the worst team in Australia? Who do you think's the worst team at the moment going around? There's a good question. All right, we're 30 seconds away to the bounce. Let me have a look. I think we're back on track. I think the players are out there taking their positions. So the ball will be bounced not too far away in about 15-second time. So I'm going to take you good folk back to the commentators. Let's enjoy the third quarter. Let's hope it's a close game. And come on, Eagles.
David, driving all the way back across the Nullarbor this week. Elliot Yeo down to stuck back in.
And of course, Liam Duggan, who will be taking no further part in this one.
Subbed out. An interesting watch on the match review with Charlie Cameron. A strong tackle. Duggan subbed out of the game. Jared Schofield in charge of his first match at West Coast. What have you enjoyed from the first half?
Well, their effort and intensity has been supreme, really. They haven't got everything right with their centre clearance, all their clearances in general, but they're right in this match and is on the back of their effort.
Lions by 10 as we get underway. Second half, Neil and McInerney, and again it's the Lions, all of them getting involved to get the clearance away. Witherden goes back into a bit of trouble. Tackled by Danaher.
It's got to be a massive concern. So they were plus 10 centre bounce clearances in that first half. Only once this season has a team been better. It was the Pies against West Coast again, the offending team, so they've got to get this right.
Yo trying to wrench it out of there. Reed went with a bump. Dangerously, but went shoulder to shoulder with Fletcher. Yo on the boot. Bouncing ball. Past Jack Williams. Ryan on the follow. Sockering it forward. Lester hassled out of it by Waterman. Trips, run down. Great tackle by Zorko. Holding the ball. Didn't dispose of it correctly.
Just had to give it there. Jamie Cripps didn't have it. Great pressure by Dane Zorko. Run down tackle. It's a goal-saving tackle there from Zorko.
Here they go with their method of picking their way through with 15-20 minute kicks out wide. Dunkley another possession. Loops it wide with a perfect handoff. Fletcher, normally a good user. And there's the money kick. Perfect to Hipwood.
Such an important first give there from Josh Dunkley. The forward handball keeps the ball flowing, particularly after you passed about that halfway mark. So you called it, Dwayne. They were chipping and moving the ball slowly, and then that hand pass. Fletcher's out, shoulders out, and a nice lead up from Hipwood.
Hasn't had a massive day at the office yet, but he's got one goal to his name. He can punch this lead back out to 16. Gets a few boos. Let's go off the boot. Hippy with that. Perfect start for the Lions.
Now, the kick that Hipwood received from Fletcher, I know that it might look easy, but you can see this build-up a little slower. We spoke about this at half-time. They just chip their way through this West Coast defence, and then this forward handball and the finish here from Fletcher, it can be underrated. These kicks they're not easy, and you have to hit it because that's turned over and it's going back the other end. So as a forward, Pav, you'd know, just delivery like that's beautiful with no pressure on him either.
Good footage also of the forwards in unison. So you had Danaher leading up, Cameron creating some space, and then Hipwood able to fall into that little pocket. Fletcher hitting him up.
Goals conceded out of the back half been a real concern for the Eagles in recent weeks. We're most concerned, the centre clearances 12-1, huge number. Lions dominating in there. Williams tapped it down, but straight to Neil. Good hands, releases Rayner as they win another centre clearance and go inside 50, and Archie takes the mark. Spoke about it in the first half. If the numbers continue to rack up out of the centre, the Lions will start to make an impact on the score sheet.
Not sure if they've made any changes in there or Brisbane, this is just a masterclass because nothing's really changed. A Brownlow medalist in there just distributing. It's a great handball.
A lot of it's on the outside, isn't it? So West Coast trying at their best to get and hunt that ball, and then Brisbane just on the outside.
Archie. This Australian Lions line up, threads it through. A couple of quick ones to start the third term for Brisbane.
I mean, you're coming up against a very, very sleek midfield group like Neil, Hugh McCluggage, Dunkley, but let's have a look there. So you can see, look, both of Reed and Elliot are inside. They're inside the bubble, and then the Brisbane players are just saying, well, we're going to sit on the outside and get it in space. They're doing it in so many different ways. It is chaos in there. It's a great hand pass from Lockie Neal.
Spatial awareness there for Lockie Neal to know where Cam Rayner was.
In the end, though, we talked about it. Weight of numbers. How many times can you put up and defend centre clearance? Well, it's starting to take its toll now.
There's a story in itself. Went to half-time without a possession. Calamarchi, 1 possession, 1 goal. Reed, Ryan, crowd rising, good kick, Waterman. And the crowd's found voice after half-time. A little quiet for the first couple of minutes. This will bring them back.
So Liam Ryan's the centre clearance here, so they've injected something different in there, and we've seen him do this over the past month or so, go in and make a difference at centre bounce, and they certainly need it.
Better positioning though from Reed. There was a nice tap and they're out.
Chance to win a Coleman, chance to win an All-Australian spot. Jake Waterman, and now's his moment.
Into the midfield, he's a forward by nature, so he knows where to put it as he comes out of that centre clearance. Jake Waterman's dealing with some fluid on his knee at the moment. It's not just the cut, but he's got some issues with that right knee. You can see his movement.
That's a great kick. That is just such a great kick. You called it well. Forwards to forwards, they know where they like the ball. That's better from Bailey Williams. Getting up over the top, Reed, the first give. You can see where Ryan's eyes were going.
Great vision seeing the point from Jake Waterman. Lester sitting on his sort of front shoulder and outside thinking, well, this is the way the ball's going, but Jake Waterman gets his hand out and points, and that's where he wants it as he moves back into the top 5. Still a little way back from Charlie though.
Back in the middle. So just the second centre clearance for the Eagles. They get a goal out of it. It's a strong tackle laid on Cole. Dunkley forcing the stoppage. Eagles just hang around. McInerney thumping it forward inside 50-yard Chi with the give. Rayner on the fly, steadies, fires and goals. Quick response from Brisbane.
There's the talent and the power that this guy possesses. So this is from a stoppage. He's gone into the midfield. So Ryan's the one for West Coast and Rayner's the one for Brisbane to start. But have a look where he starts from. He's behind the stoppage here. He's on Ryan and goes, see you later. Then Ryan, lack of defensive effort there from him, but that's explosive power. What a finish.
That is remarkable speed and power from that stoppage, and really smart play by Oscar McInerney. It's being on the same page. I'm sure that's a little play they've got in their book.
Shows where you cover. If you're a step or two off, and Liam Ryan was a long way off that one, but you need some coverage in around your stoppage. Otherwise, that's exactly what can happen with talented players.
He's been a low possession, high impact player this year again. Cam Rayner, 3 goals last week in that win over Adelaide. Scrambled forward, Zorko clean missed it. Bad option, huge option is Brockman's shot at goal, and he's got it there, just. He really needed to get it all the way home to bring him back into the game, and he got it there by a millimetre.
So what? His first goal, every player gets to him. We're really happy to see that. Got around him pretty significantly as well. Tyler Brockman.
What a difference the centre square stoppage makes. It's 2 in this quarter. Liam Ryan not involved in this one. He's gone back forward, but they get the ball forward and they score.
You live and die by the sword, don't you? That was Zorko coming through, just misses that off the ground, and Tyler Brockman, classy finish. His teammates got right around him after this one.
Well, we've been asking for it from the Eagles, haven't we? Just try to get the ball out of that centre square. Well, they've kicked 2 goals from it, so it's a stoppage game right now.
10th game, Tyler Brockman for the Eagles finds his first goal. Certainly goal kicker for the Hawks after being traded. Took a little while to get going. Reed with the free kick out of the middle. Releases Kelly. Long ball in. And in front. Terrific mark taken by Brian.
Good grab it. Look, he's been matched up on Liam Ryan for a fair bit of this. He's getting the dangerous forward and sitting in front of a pack like that. Shadow Brian, brilliant.
The opportunity to play a full game today. Found himself in the subs vest to start his career. Lions by 16.
Back 3 metres. Back 3 metres.
You can see this slower build-up here in Brisbane.
Joyce will just send it long down the line. McInerney in the pack. Spills up the back, Danaher. Run from Duncan, but a good bump, sees the ball out of play.
Hopefully he didn't get his head there. It was a good play by Jaden Hunt, I think it was. Holding his head. Josh Dunkley. Not sure if that was player or the ground. Let's see.
Arms going up
Through
a bit
the arm,
from
yeah.
Jaden Hunt. Making contact. It's Kelly. Against a couple. Ball held in.
See if Josh Dunkley gets assessed here, but it's probably going to be so careful when you're let to bump, and looks like he's okay though.
Bailey. Changing direction to get around True. It's bumped over by Reed. See him sprawling over the boundary line. Jaden Hunt towards the boundary, and it's out of play again.
I enjoyed his intensity, Harley Reid. Hasn't had a huge match, but predisposals to start this third term, throwing his body around, starting to get a bit more involved.
Getting stuck into Lockie Neal there.
Hard to see on that angle exactly if it's the arm or a huge amount in it. Josh Dunkley's staying out there though.
True. And Edwards goes very wide and touched before it crosses the line by Cripps.
An important part of this game here for West Coast and for Brisbane. So if Brisbane put the hammer down a little bit, they can really put a bit of space between them and West Coast and really capitalise on this stoppage dominance, which they haven't really been able to do for the game so far.
Williams, McInerney battling again. Cole shovels it out the back. Edwards, Reed trying to step past Bailey, handball over the top, True, and he just gets them generating some run forward. Harley Reid, he gets it back again, he delays the handball, goes with the kick, trying to pierce it through to Cripps. Eagles have the extra number. Brightman bumped over. Eagles on the follow. Cole, they scramble it. Hoff, Cripps. Eventually the Lions get back. The press continues. Ashcroft under the pump. Jones with a good chase, but they can clear away the Lions out to the wing. Jaden Hunt punched underneath it by Archie. Brisbane's turn now to go forward. They get the one-on-one. Barris and Danaher busy wrestling with each other rather than going for the footy, and it's out of play.
Great pressure there from West Coast. Brisbane up for it though, weren't they? They stood up in some of the big tackles. Harley Reid explosive, just couldn't quite hit the target. He delayed it. They had 2-on-1. They had numbers everywhere there, Eagles, for the moment. They just couldn't get it through.
Great work rate from the Lions players to get back though. Oh, getting back there to lend a hand. They've got bigger fish to fry. Finals bound if they win this. Neal couldn't trap it. Lana can't trap it. Get another ball in.
Tyler Brockman making his way off the ground at the moment with a bit of a limp after his first goal. Sure, Kath will keep her eyes on that.
McInerney again to do it. In the ruck against Bailey Williams. She mentioned hobbling across the line. They've already jumped with their sub. Lions still have their sub to use. True, Edwards. Not a lot of room to move. Cole inside, Jinby. The 1-2 works. Now there's a bit more room. Float wide. Hutchinson got there. Crowd starting to roar again. I want some quick movement. Out wide, Waterman. Jinby. Great follow-up from him. Pulls the kick. Cripps. Told to go. He looked inboard. There was nothing there except Charlie Cameron. Waterman back. And now Cole can...
Quite a bit there, Dwayne. I'd like to see Oscar Allen get up the field a bit more. Still haven't seen his impact in the game as Tyler Brockman. We'll get an update on that shortly from Kath.
Player on the bench. We'll be updated with Tyler Brockman as Archie intercepts.
Yeah, I'd like to see Oscar Allen just take Harris Andrews further up the ground. There might be 50 here. There is.
So moving on the mark. Have to see how much movement there was, but 50-metre penalty paid, and the Lions take it quickly. They drive it in long. Work down to the front. Rayner again with power. Spun out of it. Still got a kick away. Tackle from Barris affected the kick. Goes to Cole in the back pocket. And short to Marin. Now some space to move. You expect it to start to open up a bit. So much pressure in the match between both sides so far. Allen to ground. Andrews right there with him.
And he just can't break that space, can he? Identified it, Pav. Harris Andrews, he's just so good one-on-one. So can you get higher and then turn him around?
Yeah,
That's what you should
you're
do.
going to change it, so you can't just make it predictable the whole time for your defender. Get up the ground and get him moving the other way.
Making only one up and down to Edwards, who couldn't quite win it away to a teammate, Yo, who was there somewhere. Dunkley hassled his way to it. Stolen back. Little slip. Jack Williams, Jinby. Hoff. Heads out wide. Nicely delivered to Rawdon, who's been leading up to the wings again. He looks okay. All of a sudden, calling for the leads to come at him. Umpire told him to go, and he goes back to Cole.
Ellie Yo's found himself just at the top of the 50. They can't quite get it to him.
Cripps. Cole in the flyby. Little nudge to the pants. He kicked it long. Allen with the float in. Big crumb to win. Left behind. Marrick. Gave it to Edwards. He gives it the perfect shot for goal. Luke Edwards. And they come from everywhere. They're cutting this margin back bit by bit.
It's been fun. We've moved the lines a couple of times. It's a good forward press. Talked about that match up quite a bit, but just a fumble there that opens the door. So crucial. It just shows one little fumble in your back 50 that can be a score against.
The ball movement from West Coast been a fair shift in the last sort of 5 or so minutes. The transition ball, it's been hit up play. Jake Waterman's been the guy getting high up the ground. And then they've been able to connect inside 50, create a contest, and you get what you get there. Darren Schofield pretty happy in the box. But I think he'd be happy with the ball movement, the competitiveness as well. Pressure from his team, Kath.
Tyler Brockman's getting that left ankle strapped. We believe he got trotted on in an earlier contest, so hopefully he's back on shortly.
Thanks, Kath. As the Eagles committed out of the centre. Yo on the boot with a high ball inside 50, but will not chop it off.
It's been the real pop, if you like, in this quarter from West Coast. 3 goals from stoppage. Look at this injury from Brockman.
Just
Brought up there, but didn't he?
just accidentally. The Lions go out wide. Some of the fresher faces in the Eagles side having an impact. Look, Edwards kicking that goal. Zane Trues had 6 tackles in the match, leading the way for the Eagles. Long ball, and Harry Edwards, another one, finding his way into the team.
There he is. It's a real strength of his, being able to run and jump at marks. He's a big boy. He's actually grown a bit since he's been on the list. Harry Edwards put 3 or 4 centimetres on.
That's it, bide his time. The combination of Penrith and McGovern holding down those key positions. With Bailey Williams. Stash it all. He thumps it up to half forward. Allen gets a leap at it. Brought it to ground. Ryan, good vision. He just couldn't hit Hutchinson.
He was free, wasn't he? Just couldn't quite get that kick right.
Good getting back to help and see the defence for the Eagles trying to scoop right across the ground.
Yep.
And Lions will try and pick their way through it.
They've done pretty well there. They could have been opened up by virtue of where that ball was turned over. Hipwood, the forward, pressing up high, but just didn't have anything to go to. West Coast actually structured up very well behind the play. You can see now, though, what the Lions are trying to do. Just find little pockets of space like this.
Andrews got it from Joyce, gave it to Ashcroft. On the fly by Zorko, all part of the plan. Put it in his hands as often as you can. Morris can't mark it. Lyman crumbs it. Cut it down, cut down half. Crowd roaring again. They're in this, the West Coast. Reed, being part of the reason. Takes on McKenna. Tried to drop his tax, but he got away with it. Gave it up to Gimby, couldn't quite get away. And he's dropped as well. It's intense at the moment. They've lifted their rate, the Eagles. 10 points to margin. Big pack around it. Danaher doing the ruck. Yo. Shrugs one. Gets the handball back again. Stolen back by RG. Wide ball. Hipwood lurking. Harry Edwards wearing him like a glove.
He's been good, Edwards. He's been really good in one-on-one situations. It's back on the Harley replay. Probably would have taken on most on the field, but Colin McKenna,
He's
the
pretty
fastest
quick.
on the line squad, chased him well.
Danaher again taking another ruck inside forward 50. Loman over his head. Away to Morris. Great smother by Cole. Bailey stepping through some tackles. Lost it. True on the burst. Can't clear it though. Mark to Fletcher. Quickly turns and finds a target. Neil. Tough angle from distance for Lockie Neal.
Big day. Clearances, 8 of those to Lockie Neal. He's been a real leader in that regard for Brisbane.
Struggled through the first part of the season as he was battling an ankle injury. Since the bye, he was able to give it a bit of rest. Feeling better and he's dominating games. The two-time Brownlow medalist. He can do it all! Lockie Neal!
Score review. Nice call. Go.
Yeah, we'll go to the review.
Review underway.
Looks like it might have snuck through, but they're definitely checking that post where it's grazed it on the way through. But he's had a big day again, Lockie Neal.
It's definitely not touched.
And they have been checking those after goals have been called on the way back to the middle, as opposed to holding it up here.
Especially when the soft call
Is
is
a
a
goal.
goal.
Yeah.
Might have taken a glance off the post. Be tough to call that.
Let's see if the edge has
yep.
anything to do with it. Post is wobbling, but that could be from the players beneath.
Review complete. Looking at these angles, there is insufficient evidence to determine the ball has hit the post or not, and just crossed the back of the goal line before being touched. Decision on the scoreboard.
Given a goal, given the soft call, and it stays with umpire's call. Lockie Neal wasn't sure what that call was, but it is a goal. He'll celebrate now. It stands for the Lions, but a bit of confusion about how that played out. No review on edge that we were seeing.
Good pressure though from the Lions, and talked about it a couple of times, just that quick secondary. So Mark, either inside 50 or just outside to find a set shot, and this has been the real shift in his game. I think everyone's seen it the last, particularly since the bye, but even the last year or so, just using the ball so well in play by foot and finishing his work in front of goal as well.
So the reason we didn't see edge is because Bailey Williams made contact with the post at the same time. So can't differentiate between the contacts, which is why it goes back to umpire's call.
Underway again. The nerve settler for the Lions. The big O thumps it. Loman got it out. Ashcroft, the young guns combining. Hipwood stalking it. Crutch. The bodies and the fists come. McCluggage turns, slips it. Magnificent. Hipwood on the move. As Hipwood got this in him.
Great ball use from Hugh McCluggage, just silky. Summed it up very quickly. You could see where the play was going, and Hipwood's had a pretty good day. He's been a forward target on a number of occasions. Not great from this spot though.
Got 2 straight so far. Distance shouldn't be an issue. Eagles kick 2 goals in a row. This is for 2 in a row for the Lions. In response, and has put that into row 15. Wow. You can't miss by much more than that.
It's a difficult shot, 56 out, but expect a little better from Hipwood there.
Go with the iron rather than the wood. As the ball is sent long. Harley Reid involved. Dunkley's there. Wilmot. Berry back to Dunkley. Kick goes wide. Danaher stretching. Edwards got there and knocks it out of play.
Things aren't looking great for Tyler Brockman down here on the boundary, boys. He had that left ankle strapped, put his boot on, tried to do a few run-throughs, but was struggling to put weight on that left foot, so obviously getting it re-strapped. We'll see how it goes.
It's up to date with everything happening down there at ground level. Cribs taking the ground. Margin 16. West Coast hanging around. You can see the differential in the hardball gets. Contested possessions, clearly won by Brisbane. Pluggage, his kick smothered. Ginby, True, been busy. Now Reid. Lowers the kick. Hutchinson stretching. Just got a finger on it. Able to recover. Now he's got Marrick in support. The two mid-season draftees trying to combine. Shallow Brain, Ashcroft. Way now to Joyce. Creates a kick. Bounce important. Tough one for Morris. Cole. Needed the support of Witherden. Clever kick. True. Starting to rack up some numbers. Disposal number 14.
Yeah, I like his game. He's been playing, made the right decisions.
Witherden has to play on. He switches it up to Hoff on a storming lead. Here's Waterman. Just couldn't reach it with the one hand. He ran about 80 metres to get there, and now on the turnover, just after the skill error, means Brisbane can try and sweep it back up the field. Danaher has to wait for support. Cameron's got 3 to beat inside 50, so the Lions can't go quick. Neil, back for Danaher, close to the boundary line. Had something off that left boot, couldn't go off the right, but the path clears and opens the door. McCluggage misses.
And the Brisbane players looking around saying, hey, where was the hand pass? Where was the pass off? Loman, Cameron in good spots.
They'd be disappointed with that. That's happened a couple of times.
So this is just a few moments before. It's happened a fair bit. So Zane True just getting in the way of Oscar McInerney while he wasn't looking. It's been a target, clearly, to influence his run at the ball, not dissimilar to the way a lot of teams do with Max Gawn.
He also missed a week with concussion a few weeks ago. The big O. Out the back, Edwards. Turnover, Joyce. Thumps it to half forward. Loman, an early jump. Was it an illegal jump on Ballas? Unrealistic attempt. He pleads his case. He tried to fool us. He knew the score.
Yeah, difficult matchup against Tom Barris there for Loman. He's very best to sell that to the zone.
Well, it's not a lie if you're convinced it's true. McInerney beaten for it. That could have been a mark, not paid. Jack Williams had enough of it to at least lay a claim to it. And True has to give it up.
Been much better around this area. The stoppages this quarter. They're actually in front of clearances and they've scored 3 goals from it.
Pluggage didn't get a proper handball away there, so called a throw. He'll come back to the wing.
Just another example of it doesn't have to be clean. Here's a bit of a scrap and the Williams, the ruckman Williams able to win this ball back.
He's been good today, Williams.
Williams with the long kick to half forward. Andy Williams in the middle. Kelly front and centre. Roving perfectly. The delivery. Great spoil from Leicester. Lunging late. Hutchinson overran it. McKenna lost it. Kelly on the follow. But Will Schofield, big smile on your face seeing that spoil from Leicester.
Well, I mean, to be able to do that, I mean, know what season Jake Waterman's having. To be able to get a fist in and spoil that, brilliant. Could he have taken it in the hands? I'm not sure, but difficult. Going very fast at it.
Rolling. Stoppage inside 50 for the Eagles. Reed's down there. Going to cause some headaches. He's taking it around.
Looks like Tyler Brockman is done for the day, boys. Ice on that left foot.
Eagles down a player on the bench. One still to make this up. Neil. Bounced off one. McInerney. Past Barris. Jimmy over the top of it. Sent to the boundary.
So he's played half-back flank, Ruben Jimby all day. I think he would have liked the fact that he's just settled in one position, and we talked about it a little bit. He's been inside, wing, half forward, half-back. So Jared Schofield smiling at this point. It's I'm enjoying his first match as coach, but I think he's probably settled a few players in their positions.
Ruben Jimmy played on a half-back flank all of his school footy, so I've been back to his roots for that.
Bailey Williams, the base of the pack.
Because we saw him early going to Rayner, but it's really sort of dropped from us.
Yeah, once Rayner's gone on ball or in other places, he's just stayed.
Reid was trying to burst through. Appeal for the free. Yo, with strength, trying to get it out. Neil's just so clean in the congestion. To Loman, now Berry. Long kick, high ball. Eagles have the numbers. Barris with the 6. He went over the top. Mark not paid. Lions play on, and Rayner helps himself. Barris got a big ride Did he have enough of it as he brought it down?
Let's have a look at this one. Tom Barris rolls reversing. Can't quite see how long he holds it for here. Let's have a look at this angle. Oh, seen some of those baits, some not. Unlucky. It's always difficult as a defender going for those because you know when you drop it, you've got forwards nipping around that know exactly what to do with it. So he's been doing that his whole career. Tom Barris, Jared Schofield, not overly impressed.
Raiders run from the stoppage, so he's playing full forward now, but he actually started that one on the wing or up in the wing position as a high half forward. So we've seen it a couple of times. He's gone up in around the ball and then just sprinted forward and hit the scoreboard.
Big 3 minutes coming up now, the three-quarter time. Effort's been there from the Eagles. They've stuck with him. The big O's been the difference. It's his own clearance. Attack from Allen, he left it behind. Off, mopped up that mess. Tough ball to gather though on the bounce. And Waterman does gather. Slips, goes, looks inside. Chip kick. Yo. Crowd roaring. Want Yo to go? He did, but it was smothered. Fletcher, Cripps. Waterman got it from Jones. Hammers it towards goal. And he missed to the east side and doesn't score.
Interesting move here. Oscar Allen's gone behind the ball. He actually started, I think, on the wing at that centre bounce. We'll have a bit of a look and track him, but he is playing as a loose behind the ball. I wonder if it's to shut down the quarter or just get him in the game.
Big leg from Bailey release. And locks it in the forward half for the Eagles. Just going to tee it up. Look for someone to launch. Waterman to the front. Great judgment. Eyes for the footy. As they worried about him, they worried about taking the mark.
Well, this is great forward line movement for West Coast. They isolated Jake Waterman. He was out wide, calling it with his hand in the air, and just got the better of Leicester. He hasn't been beaten too often today by Leicester, but Jake Waterman, the form he's in, he fights his way to the front.
Had a massive third turn. This will be his 7th disposal. Opportunity for his 2nd goal.
He kicked multiple goals in 11 games. He's averaging 2.8 a match. This is for his 3rd. And to keep the Eagles in touch, they have a lot of work going on as it swung away. Chance goes begging. Ball coming back in was interesting as the Lions will take the mark at half-back.
Dunkley knows how long left. And it screamed to him. There's the return of the other ball. McKenna on the back of the head. See if he gets a check from the doctor at three-quarter time. Off hands. Zorko with it. Going to the protocol for that. Crowd interaction. Ball slapped away. Kelly, harder down by Rayner. Cut him in half. And took him to the deck and kindly lifts him back up again.
That's a big tackle by Cam Rayner. Some huge contests still happening.
Get under the pack, Berry, Yo, scrap for it, Kelly, and then Neal. Pinched it back again. Disposal 28 for Lockie Neal. Long ball, extra number, back there is Oscar Allen. And back to help out. Having a tough battle with Harris Andrews most of the day. Long ball to the wing. The players misjudged it. Back Kelly. Names an extra metre.
So it's interesting now, I mean, only 11 seconds left, but the last 2.5 minutes, Allen has been behind the ball, so it has freed up someone. It's not necessarily Harris Andrews because they've been able to manipulate that a little bit, so it gives an opportunity for another Brisbane player to take that responsibility on down back.
Seconds remaining in the 3rd term. Lions extending their lead in this quarter. Raiders kicked a couple, been a big part of it. And that will do it to three-quarter time. Will the Lions be headed to the top 4? Or can the Eagles keep the pressure up and fight their way back into it? A quarter to go. It's the Lions by 22.
All right, there we go, folks. That is the end of the 3rd quarter. Eagles trail 9-4-58 to the Lions 12-8-80. It's only a 22-point margin. As we always saying, it's still anyone's game. That's not a big margin. That's not a big margin. It's only 3 goals for. Let's have a look. They got that quarter. The Eagles put on 3 goals 1, and of course the Lions 5 goals 1. So they outscored them a little bit in that quarter. They go from 10 point to, I don't know about, what's that, 22 point? 10 to 22 point. That's all right. We got faith, as you said, as you said, Chris. There's a few of the Eagles players that are having a little bit of a down day, but the good thing about that is there's still a quarter to go for them players to lift and bring the Eagles home. Hopefully. Let's just have a quick look while we've got about 3.5 minutes at the player stats. Let's go and have a look and see who's leading there today. Lachie Neale, after the third quarter, is on top, 100 with 28, not 100. 103 is the fantasy points for Lachie Neale. 28 disposals for Lachie Neale, 14 and 14, 2 marks, 6 tackles, 11 clearances. He's having a ball burster of a day. It's going pretty good. McCluggage there, still hanging on there, 23 possessions, 15, 8, 4 marks, 5 tackles, 3 clearances. He's going right. Josh Dunkley with 23. Elliot Yale for 19. Tim Kelly, 19. They're not going too bad. We need to lift, though, a little bit more. Let's come down, give everyone a little bit of a look at their favourite players, of course. Who we got? Joey Danaher, still the 14 possessions. Well, have a look at that. He's only had 8 kicks, but he's had 6 handballs. That, folks, is rare. He's had 4 marks, 1 tackle, 2 headouts, 3 clearances for 2 goals 1. Let's just go down a little bit, check it out a little bit more. Who else we got? There's your Jake Waterman, 11 touches. He's had 7 kicks for 2 goals 1. Need to get a couple more goals out of him in this final quarter, especially with Harley Reid. We were saying Harley Reid was having a little bit of a slacker of a day. There he is, 13 possessions. That is it. 4 kicks, 9 handballs, 2 tackles. Even the tackles are low for him. 6 clearances. We need him to fire up in this last quarter if the Eagles are going to have any chance at all in bringing the bacon home. Let's just go down to the last little bit down there. Let me swing it across. See, we're still okay at the moment. Let me just bring this back up. We'll have a look at the... That was a little bit quick, wasn't it? Sorry, folks. The goal scorers, Jakey Waterman, 2 goals, and Cam Rayner, 2 goals, with Eric Hipwood and Joey Danaher. There's the multiple goal scorers for the match so far, and then we've got a lot of players with singles. Yeo, Williams, Neal, Kelly, Hutchison, Edwards, Dunkley, Cripps, Cameron, Brockman, Bailey, Ashcroft, and G. There we go. All right, we'll give you a quick glance at the leaders of the fantasy points. Lachie Neale, 103. Josh Dunkley, 95. McCluggage, 92. There we go. There is the top 3. We're just going to come back here. We've got a minute and a half, so there's no point going over the team stats just at the moment. Actually, I might have a look at the team stats because I want to go down, just have a look at the free kicks. 11-7, Eagles favourite, but I tell you what, yeah, there we go. I think the Eagles guy who took a screamer wasn't paid the mark. I thought he was pretty unlucky. I thought that was a mark. And it turned out it wasn't. And then the what am I trying to say? Then the Lions player picked up the pill and kicked a goal. All right, folks, we're in for a cracking last quarter here as the Lions lead the Eagles by 22 points. We're going to head back down to the ground. There was just a little bit of coverage. The commentator speaking on the boundary line. We'll pick that up there and we'll head into the final quarter, which is going to start in 30 seconds. Enjoy the last quarter. Come on, Eagles, come on.
Left foot and is done for the day. So a man down for the West Coast Eagles. Matthew Pavlich, as I throw it up to you, you wanted to highlight Cam Rayner's work.
Yeah, I thought that quarter he was instrumental in helping the Lions stretched their lead a little bit at three-quarter time. Also a bit of a lesson here for Ruben Ginbey about when you're playing on a dangerous forward like this. Very hard to fumble, but then to work back the other way is important. So there's Rayner and Ginbey. They're together effectively, and then just Rayner puts the hammer down, and he just puts a huge gap between he and his opponent. Good contest here. Was it a mark or not? That's up for everyone at home, but Rayner just gets to the right spot and kicks the goal. And we saw that on a couple of occasions. He goes up to stoppage, and then he just works really hard forward and finishes with the goal.
Sometimes we hear the noise of why are we playing Rayner more on ball. It's because of that. His work rate and his explosiveness. That's why you don't see him on ball, because if you do that, you don't get that sort of effort from him, and that's high level work rate from the high half forward.
Bit of a lesson there for Ruben, isn't it? To stick with him all the way.
So it comes down to this. The final game of round 18, the final quarter. Brisbane Lions hunting a top 4 spot. A win and they're in the top 4. A loss, they could be out of the 8 tonight with 6 games left until finals. 22 points the margin. They fought the fight, the Eagles. Big celebration for Adam Simpson pre-game. Can they finish it strongly? Yo pumps it along. Brain flies, can't mark, brought it to ground though. Made the commitment, get a ball up.
First goal of this final term, vitally important either way. It's Marek Kelly over to shrug off Ashcroft and steady to goal that misses. Elliot Tainty Kelly, leading disposal winner, along with Elliot Yo for West Coast.
Been a bit of a scrappy affair, particularly wet at times, but he has been wasteful with the ball in hand. 10 kicks, but only 3 hit the target, so had plenty of it, but which has been a bit of his knock at times, Scotty, Tim Kelly.
Yeah, it has. A bit of a while off with injuries, but he's looked better today at least.
Andrews makes a big mark. Lions can advance up the field. Searching for an option, nothing really presenting, so goes backwards. Down some key defenders, the Lions.
Good at this, aren't they? Just you can see there on screen a number of their midfielders and high half forwards drawing back into space, and the ball use is elite.
Zorko not afraid to pull the trigger on the kick to set a half forward, who's trying to get on the follow there. It's McCluggage instead, who receives the handball, didn't have the shot, went short, and Cameron was going to get the free kick for the hold. He takes the mark inside 50 and will go back.
And a quiet day, Charlie Cameron. Brady Hoff has done a wonderful job on him for the most part. 3 disposals.
I think Brady Hoff might be on the bench right now, and I can tell you now, if you've got a job on a forward and someone else lets him get a hit-up mark like that, you're not going to be happy.
He's kicked 2 goals in each of his last 3 for the Lions. Charlie Cameron lines him up from directly in front, and he slots a little milestone for Brisbane. His 300th goal for the Lions.
It's like Charlie knew it as well as a big celebration, or maybe it's just because he had a bit of a quiet today. But we talked about the build-up again. So good at their ball use and opening up pockets of space for one another, and then a couple of first gives and some run from behind. Poor defensive efforts there from West Coast in terms of ability to stop McCluggage in getting out. Cameron hits the scoreboard.
Really happy with his teammate hitting him up there, wasn't he? Because McCluggage could have gone and kicked that goal. It'd be critical, I have at least, of not connecting with their forwards inside 50, and he's gone and done that.
Biggest margin of the game now. McInerney down. Reed was held before he got it, and the umpire saw it that way as well. Takes off, goes by hand. Wanted the 1-2 with it. A spear pass, just overcooked it. Zorko read it to perfection. He's been doing that all season. The Magician heads out wide. Berry. 17.5 minutes away from celebrating his 150th 50th game with a victory. It's wide. Nicely delivered to Danaher. Making all the right moves at the moment, the Lions. They've led at every change. Quarter time, half time, three-quarter time, and extended at every change. Down the line they travel, knocked it down, but straight to the danger man, Rayner. The flick was amazing from Lyman. McCluggage, Rayner, awesome to Bailey. That's a clinic from the Lions.
It's elite ball use and great run from behind and supporting your teammates, and then the vision from Rayner and the execution. We've been critical a couple of times of Brisbane not laying the ball off into space. I wonder if that was the directive at three-quarter time, because we've seen McCluggage go in. Look at that flick, brilliant hand pass. And then McCluggage hits up Cameron, and then Rayner hits up Bailey.
They might show no mercy in this last 16 and a half minutes, the Lions. They've got the second best percentage in the AFL. They do have a draw, but they might need the percentage come the end of it to make the 8 or make top 4, top 2 even on offer, given Carlton's lost his last 2 games. But he wastes that chance behind. Bitterton brings it back in. Goes straight up the middle of the ground, and Ryan leaping. Easy to go through the corridor. True, Cole, and Jaden Hunt. Back for Cole, back for True. Running, combining from one end to the other. Zane True. Allen. End-to-end stuff from the Eagles. And there's Oscar Allen. Going to just get his first little bit of separation away from Harris Andrews.
Yeah, he got out of the back early, Oscar Allen.
On the West Coast, go coast to coast. And thumping through.
This is where they're dangerous, West Coast, where they've been able to move it quickly and use forward handballs. That's we called it in the first quarter. They start using those forward handballs against defenders out of position. So Harris Andrews has done such a great job on Oscar Allen all day. He's playing in front of Oscar Allen right now. Terrific mark from Lee and Ryan. But the ability to go quick, and there's a forward handball coming up here. Feeding to True again, and this is the one here. Forward handball, pops the bubble. And you can see Harris Andrews out of position, and Oscar Allen's a really good forward. He'll take those most days.
The old 11-point turnaround, the one the Lions didn't get, the one the Eagles get. Is that going to be a big momentum changer? The crowd's still into it. Atmosphere's been fantastic since the outset. Clearance again huge. Toe off the deck. Hunt, free kick. Replays onto advantage. Kelly. Cole. Chip kick good. Edwards stood his ground. Zorko holds him up, but he wants to go. Heads out wide. The milestone man, Liam Ryan. Takes a breath, takes his time. In game 100. Could be a big twist in this tale yet. Crowd give him silence. Still an eternity left to cut down this 22-point margin. Drives it long, that'll work back. Magnificent. Game on.
What a finish from Liam Ryan, and game on indeed. Have a look at the crowd there, certainly into it, and all the players in game 100 head across to Liam Ryan. Good work here. Came from a centre square bounce, really is the high tackle. Good work right here. Talked about it, Scully, just the ability to move the ball quickly. Ryan's all by himself and has lots of time given how they had to press up and defend that one. But this is what the Eagles fans have wanted to see. A bit of spirit, a bit of push, taking it up to the much more favoured Lions, and it's game on, as you said.
Well, they'll keep moving it quickly as well, because every time they do, inside 50s and they're connecting and they're looking dangerous. So that's how they're going to play for the rest of the game. Brisbane, can they stop it? Because when they come up against the better teams, they're going to have to.
Crowd rising. Brisbane being dominant out after it. No one can get a clean handle. Rayner, strength. Didn't make contact, holding the ball. Just needed a shoelace on it. Kelly wins the free. In fact, it'll go the way of Williams. Kelly wanted to take it, receives now. That's wide. Luke Edwards for Ryan. Crowd becoming a factor. True. Back for Kelly. Pulls the kick in short to Cripps. Eagles building. Forwards leading. Sends to the pocket. Hutchinson. The mid-season recruit brings a crowd to their feet as the Eagles search for a third on the trot.
It's great ball use, isn't it, from the Eagles? And it's a great run because a couple of times Hutchinson's found himself in great positions, but the ball hasn't quite got there. But he's hasn't said, well, that's enough, I'm going to stop. And Jamie Cripps, good vision, gets it out to the open side. The Lions desperate, they just couldn't quite get there.
Charlie Cameron put the fist up, almost got it. Jack Hutchinson only kicked the first goal of his AFL career earlier this afternoon. That one is near side. Still a stack of time remaining in this final term. The Eagles have found a way to lift.
Bit of movement on Brisbane's bench. I'm not sure if they're looking to activate their sub. Maybe they feel like they need some fresh legs.
Could we do that, Kath? Bruce Reville, their sub. Wide, big putt. Harry Edwards got up. Yo crumbed it. Thumps it back. Dangerous territory. Fists come. Ball in. They can reset. 15 points. 12 minutes and 40. And he is edgy, Chris Fagan. And there is their sub. Reville getting ready.
Good race because of that score on your screen there. 5 clearances to 0. We've talked about it all day. The Lions, to begin that last quarter, so much in front, but they come out fighting the Eagles.
Jones kept it in play. Made a very good purchase on it, but it goes through from behind.
21 clearances or more they had at three-quarter time, but they've been able to whittle that back in his first 6 clearances of this last term.
He's got a couple of opportunities to get it up to around that 10-point mark or under as Loman presents. Still remarkable to think this is the first time these two sides have clashed at this venue. Berry taking a good mark. He's played here plenty of times against Freo, but first ever match up against the Eagles at Optus Stadium. Very long. Lyman plucks it with one hand, wants to keep going. It's going to be 50. Cole trying to hold him up on the mark, put the arms around, but it did look like Lyman was trying to play on. They'll be taken to the goal square and make it a certain one for Brisbane.
Yeah, this will be very interesting on replay. Looks as though he was off, and so Cole just almost instinctively puts his arms out. Let's have a look. Oh, maybe it's that one. Okay.
Just lingered a little too long. Going in to lock him up after Lyman and taking the mark. Directly in front, 15 out. A 50-metre penalty. Costly. Lyman punishes.
It's always going to be a controversial one over here at Optus Stadium when a 50-metre penalty results in a goal. It's at least the second, third one West Coast have given up. As we watch on the replay,
He wasn't in the contest, was he? So he is holding him up.
and we probably just don't see it paid enough. That's a free kick, so that's a 50.
Yeah, it is 50.
I guess the unsureness from us is we don't see it paid every time. So that's sort of, I think what people might think, well, is that a free kick or not? Definitely in the rules.
Pick 20 in 2021, Kyle Lyman, third season. Because he only played 8 games before this season, still eligible to win the Rising Star. Having a pretty good year. Ball up. Reed, speaking of good years, still a ton of time in this for the Eagles to steal it. Hunt thumps it. Harris Andrews. Oh, a nut-out free. The little things that can become big things. He better give it back or he'll be 50. He's at his time. Oscar Elms adjusting his shoes.
This is the inconsistency that I'm not wrapped within the game. We're talking about the 50-metre penalties or the protected area, the push in the back.
That's not a free kick. That's not a free kick.
which specific time, if that's a free or not. But regardless, Oscar Allen kicks the goal and kicks the goal back open.
So a couple already this weekend where that could players have put their hands directly in the back and it hasn't been paid. This one,
The reason this isn't a free kick is he gets there really early, Harris Andrews, and so that's holding your position. The difference between by pushing the back and holding your position is how early you get there. If he gets there late, pushes him out. I know his hands are there, but Oscar Allen's jumping as well.
the double action is what the umpires look for. And the umpires there have called it, but that's one of the most inconsistent ones I've seen in the game these days.
Oscar Allen was appealing that he had touched the footy, I think, on the way through rather than for an actual free kick.
Well, as a forward, he knew that he jumped too early.
And then
He knew that shouldn't have been a free kick.
So 2 goals in the final term for Oscar Allen. Eagles with all the territory in this final term, trying to close the gap. McInerney slipped. Yo releases the handball, allows Kelly on the burst with a run and a bounce from the centre square. High ball in. They lock up again. Andrews stood tall, lost it. Cripps bounces post.
The stadium about to erupt here. Everyone's very invested in this one.
6-0 out of the centre and 8-zip for the quarter. So what has been Brisbane's strength has just been taken away from them.
Kenner out wide. Andrews almost threw it away moments ago. Takes the mark here. Craig don't think that was the required 13. Jasper Fletcher has it. Pumps it along to a 50-50. Barris could have gone for the mark. Safety first. Leicester content to see it out with Hutchinson on his hammer. Pleads his case. That's something a little more. So let us know.
Brisbane have activated their sub, so Logan Morris, the man to make the way, purely tactical.
Thank you, Catherine. And the question now goes to the likes of Lockie Neal and a number of these high-profile Brisbane midfielders have been handed it to them in this last quarter. Here we go.
Neil, good handball to release McCluggage. Barris in front. Under 10 minutes to play. Reville subbed into the match for the Lions. The Eagles, a player down on the bench through injury. Hoff again releasing Kelly through the middle. Cripps. Eagles forwards everywhere. Ryan in the forward pocket, all alone and unattended. Goes deep for instead. Hutchinson leapt very early. And he got the jump, jumping way too soon. And it goes through from behind.
A little bit more composure there from Cripps and Hutchinson. They had players out everywhere.
Even 12-point margin. Revealed the sub. Heads out wide and a little fumble from Brady. Has to go back and mob it up. And he's caught one. And his brain rattled. Hope he's okay. They've just jumped with their sub. Ooh.
That's to the ribs. So we've got to say it's a pretty fair bump for Liam Ryan.
He goes low, gets him in the ribs. Good bump, well executed.
The ball was on the line, so it was still in play. Back into play. The big O couldn't go nuts. Kelly strikes. Hunt inside. Off the side. Fletcher, calm as always. To Berry. Feeds it wide. He's got the big O. Drops it. Gets it. Got Treacle. Got down low. Got it to Archie. Chip kick to Joe. And he turns and goes on that left. Drives it long. Goal square. Bailey's down there. Logan. He's good, this kid. He pops up in big moments. Played every game this year. Game 25 for his career. And he can settle things down, make it a 3-goal margin. Doesn't mind a celebration either. Cobra Kai swings that through. And he's pumped.
Oh, he stood up when it mattered most, hasn't he, in this last quarter. When all the momentum has been for for the Eagles. Scully, he's the one up forward who's been impressive. Let's have a look at a bit of a scoop here from Oscar McInerney. Pushing it out.
That's good. He's done it well. It's a little tap on. He knows his ruck craft, even if it's on the ground. Well, this is from a clearance from West Coast. You remember that rugby running, and Brady Hoff had a chance to go inside. Great smother by Brisbane. They go straight back the other end.
Alex with it, maybe a bit too concerned about Bailey there. You can see Lyman coming across. Gonna spoil him.
3-goal game. Lyman with a couple in this final term. They're fishing inside 50 the Lions in this final quarter. Just under 8 minutes to play. McInerney down.
Both teams with a number of their high half forwards in and around the contest. Only 3 West Coast forwards inside their 50, only 1 for the Lions. So both teams clogging up the stoppages.
Not responding. Urging their team back into the contest, but the Lions send it inside 50. Barris, second ball.
He's had a really good second half. Tom Barris. He wants 50 metres. Not going to get it.
Being knocked out of his hands after he completed the mark. All play on is Harry Edwards. Nice I1 wide. Right into the front. He just stick around McKenna. Kelly's finishing full of run. The delivery to Jack Williams. Gives it back with a run to Ryan and back to Kelly. And then on the boot inside 50. Allen. Andrews the spoil. Yo in the pack. Spun right around. All up.
Couple of prime movers, Elliot Yo, Tim Kelly, Liam Ryan having big last terms.
Young looking sore. Looked like he got his neck and head sort of caught up in that tackle and maybe a pinch of the shoulder. Tim Kelly's been huge in this quarter. 9 disposals he's had. Let's have a look at this one. So great roving by Elliot Yo. Gets spun around, but pretty fair tackle. You can just see sort of gets caught up with his neck and head. It's dangerous, that one, isn't it?
That's really dangerous.
No malice from the tackle.
Pressure going through as he was rotated and ball's cleared away. Marrick trying to shovel it across to Ryan. Wilmot. Marrick. True. Reid looking to take them on. Harley Reid. Good smothering attempt from Raider. Across the face it goes. In the middle of the pack, it's taken by Fletcher.
What a mark.
It's been good today. It's been really good, Fletcher. Shows really good composure with the ball in hand as well, doesn't he? Gets to the right spots. It'll be a nice year.
Comes from a pretty good footy start. It was a start with multiple clubs, 4 or 5, depends on how you count them. McCluggage. Wilmot. He launches to Fletcher again on the move. Amazing. It's okay, Mr. Fagan. The kids will take it from here. Back pedals. Big contributions from a number of their young guns. McCluggage chips it. McKenna can go. He slipped. Might get it back. McCluggage. Neil. Outside of the boot to McCluggage. Little toe. 50 from goal. Collects. Takes them on himself. Handballs to himself. Didn't work. Harry Edwards gave it up. Time is of the essence. Hoff kick smothered. Thumped out of there. Andrews behind the ball. Great commitment from Jones. Got it to ground. Wilmot, arms free. Threads it out. Another of the young guns, Ashcroft. Bangs it long. Logan! King Kai, higher than high. He's been phenomenal in this last quarter.
What a grab by Lyman. And the intensity's been in this game all day, hasn't it? Let's watch this. He went up from nowhere, didn't he? Little hanger on Ruben Jimby.
Goes early and then holds himself. That's a great mark. Really strong mark. And what a last quarter he's putting in.
To make it a 4-point margin. And it doesn't score. Touched. Not a bad loss for the Lions. A point would have made it 19. Would have been better off with that, but they've got a chance to score from this.
3 goals in it. Over 40,000 watching on at the ground. Ball tap down. Lockie Neal, he's done it all today from the clearance. They do get that point, the lines, but Neal being maybe a touch quieter in this final term, almost. Able to put it beyond out there.
A big day, Lockie Neal. 32 disposals, 16 of those contested, 16 ground ball gets. It's been so clean in around the contest when it's been a bit wet and slippery. It resulted in 13 clearances.
Off. Eagles can waste no time. Just 4 minutes to go.
3 metres back.
True.
Okay, 1 more metre.
Disposal number 20.
Really liked his game.
Longer half forward. Williams to the front. Full back to him. Reed in and under. Bursting forward again. Ryan. Inside 50 they go. Looking for a flyer. There was a tangle behind him that allowed Oscar Allen to take the uncontested mark.
He's done well in this last quarter, so his third goal if he's able to do it. All in this last quarter. I think he only had 3 disposals right up until three-quarter time. So as more supply has come, he's got into the game.
Oscar Allen. Tough battle with Harris Andrews all afternoon. They still went out to cash in the final term. They're just in touch. 3 goals in the final quarter for the skipper.
It's an important response, isn't it, from the skipper, because it was looking like a really dark day for him. He's able to really fight his way through. You can see here, though, he's in a really good position. Brain takes way too much of that front position, too assertive on that occasion. It's just so easy to come back with the fight with the ball and take a good mark. But they just needed this big last quarter.
All out of order there, Brisbane. There was no tall fingers back there. Movement again. I think West Coast and West Coast fans will be pretty happy with this effort. They haven't fallen away in this last quarter. You remember there's been a man down on the bench, Adam Simpson, up in the box there, just hiding away from the crowd.
11 seasons as coach, Adam Simpson, premiership coach. 3 goals, 3 minutes, that's the equation for the big steal. For their man in the stands. And they get the clearance. Kelly dumps it long. Wide ball. Oscar! Not quite. Little juggle. Wilmot pumps it away. Joe under it. Barris with him. Archie. Can he seal the deal? Gives it to Joe. McCluggage turns back to Joe. They hassle it away. Archie. Jinby. Joe. Edwards. Cole. Back towards the wing. Neal. All the poise in the world goes back to Harris Andrews.
Really smart play by Lockie Neal there. Could have quite easily just blazed away in there. And they play these better sides later in the year. This is an important 2, 3, 4 minutes late here. West Coast, of course, coming, but you can still learn something out of this for Brisbane.
Berry. Pass it long. Bailey Williams. Harry Edwards trying to claim the mark. Going to be a ball up. He thought it should have been paid. Rayner with the tackle.
I'm not happy.
McInerney. Reed. Wrapped up. I'll put his head down. Ball up. Under 2 minutes to play.
Tim Kelly's been big in this last quarter. He's had 10 disposals.
Up to 29 for the match. McInerney close to the line. Force the boundary throw it.
It's a good point you make just around what Brisbane needs to do this last couple of minutes as we see Adam Simpson. And so true to the fans.
Comes up to the crowd. A royal appreciation. Bailey. Brisbane have it locked inside their forward 50. Bailey went back, found it. He was on the ground. And holding the ball. Elliot Yeo wins the free kick. Knows all about that call. Comes it up to the centre square. Kelly, off hands, Berry. Zorko changed his mind a couple of times. Through to Neal. Looks up. Open goal square. Long ball. Cameron the Shepherd. Neal the goal. And that'll seal the deal for the Lions.
Big celebration here from Lockie Neal as well. I think he very much much enjoyed it. He's had a huge day and maybe on his way to 3 Brownlow votes.
3 Brownlow votes, definite. 34 touches, 2 goals. It's been huge, 13 clearances.
And I wouldn't do another. Is he a chance to win 3 after the end of this year?
Look, it's a great team Brisbane have got, but I don't know how many people are stealing votes from week to week. The most informed side of the competition, and he's their best player. And every time he plays well, he's probably getting 3 votes.
Yep.
One door closes, another opens in the air at the Eagles as Adam Simpson makes his exit. Jared Schofield, the man in charge to finish the season. It's certainly been a spirited performance from West Coast, but Brisbane are on track for a 4 points that will see them into the top 4. Cole with the switch. Luke Edwards. Wide for Witherden. Eagles will go back inside 50. Poor entry, and Leicester can intercept. 15. Seen that all weekend. Ryan with a lunging tackle. Wilmot wasn't aware. The explanation from Jeff Dalglish. He was screaming at Darcy Wilmot, who was taking his time to dispose. He thought it was a mark, but Ryan could certainly hear him.
That's got to be 15 metres, doesn't it?
It is difficult to hear out there. So
Very difficult,
we've got the microphone in our ears, broadcast, but it's different out there as a player.
Liam Ryan will have the last shot as the siren sounds in his 100th game. It finishes with a goal. It's a spirited performance. They see the lift, yet it's a loss for the Eagles as the Lions roar back into the top 4. Winners by 13 points. The DJ with the alternate mix of the Lions theme song. Kanye West, Kanye instead of the Lions club song. It's a little bit unusual.
Going on. Well, while we wait for the song and we wait for an interview, let's talk about the performance because they did what they needed to do. Here we go. There we go. Let's play finally.
All right, there you go, folks. There you go. Well, it was going in defeat by the Eagles, but the Lions were just too strong. I think, though, you know what? There was a couple of decisions there that went against the Eagles where they took a good mark in defence, yet the umpire said no mark, and the Lions kicked a goal and a couple more. But yeah, 16-10, 106 to Lions. 13-point victors over the Eagles, 14-9. 93. They did well, though. They did well, the Eagles. They booted, have a look at that. They booted 5 goals, 5 in that last quarter to 4 goals, 2 to the Brizzy Lions. It was a good game. Yeah, unfortunately, I just want to say well done, Paul. Congratulations. He's off the mark. He's picked a winner. He's finally picked a winner there. Hey, Wait Lang, the manager's in the house. Mega love shout out, Tine. What's going on? What's going on there? Multitasking as always. Good to have you in. Thanks for the thumbs up. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's it, ADG. Fremantle will drop now. They will drop. And of course, who was that? Brisbane will climb that ladder there. Their percentage is still pretty healthy. Let me just have a quick rundown of these players' stats. Just while we're here, I want to see Lachie Neale still led the way with 34 disposals, 19 kicks, 15 handballs, holy moly, 2 marks with 13 clearances. Yeah, he could have been the difference in the game. And of course, Hugh McCluggage played a cracker there today also with 32. Tim Kelly, 29. He was pretty good for the West Coast. Don't worry about that. He played a good game. Josh Dunkley was pretty good with 26, and Elliot Yeo with 24. There we go. Let me run down a few so you can get your players' stats. Joe Danaher, Addy G, he's had 17 touches today, 10 kicks, but have you ever seen this before? Joe Danaher had 7 handballs. That's got to be a record, I reckon. Pie is down to 12th. Yeah, I think, yeah, I know. But still, they're only a game out, so not too bad. Yeah, Neil's a great player. I watched him over the past couple of games. I tell you what, yeah, I tell you what, he's got to be piling most of the votes there for Brisbane this year in the Brownlow. He's been a cracker, been a cracker. Anyway, Joe Danaher got a couple of goals. Let me keep going down there. Hey, Addy G. When are you going to come over to Popo and multitask with me and Waitling? Come on, son. All right, who else? Anyone else of interest down there? Let's keep going back there. I'll go and search for Harley Reid because I want to see how he finished off in that last quarter and his stats. That was all the players there with their stats. I want to try and find Harley Reid because he was having a real ordinary day up until 3/4 time. Can anyone see Harley? Oh, there he is. Harley Reid ended up with 20. So he had a reasonably good last quarter, but just couldn't get it done, which was a little bit unfortunate. Liam Ryan also had a pretty good game there for the Eagles, but Harley Reid finished with 20, 6 kicks, 14 handballs, 2 tackles, 7 clearances. Center all. There we go. All right, let's have a look at the goal scorers for the day. How did they end up? Well, this is how they ended up, folks. Oscar Allen ended up with 3 goals. He was the top goal scorer. Jakey Waterman with 2, with Liam Ryan with 2 for the Eagles. And, of course, you got Cam Rayner, Lockie Neal, Kai Lohman, Eric Hipwood, and Joe Danaher, and Charlie Cameron all got 2. A lot of multiple goal scorers today. Of course, we had lots of goal scorers today, and we had singles to Yale, Williams, Kelly, Hutchinson, Edwards, Dunkley, Cripps, Brockman, Bailey, Ashcroft, Achie, bless you. There we go. So lots of goal scorers, which is always good to see. Just a quick look at the fantasy points. Lockie Neal on top with 133 and Hugh McCluggage 124. They always led the way on that, as they did on their disposals, 34 and 32. 2 top players for the day. Liam Ryan ended up with 108 points. Josh Dunkley 106. Tim Kelly 100 fantasy points. That's how they ended up. Team stats, I don't know if it's interesting if you want to really have a little bit of a glance at that, but we'll have a quick look while we're here. Pretty even in disposals. As I said, I thought this game was, game was pretty even all the way throughout, and this should tell the story. Cold day today, only 28. Gosh, Paul, you're kidding. It's 6 degrees here. I don't know whether you can see this down here, but it's 6 degrees. Where is it? Let me bring that up. Look at that. 6 degrees. That's what it is here. Have a look tomorrow. That's what we've got tomorrow. 9 degrees and raining. There we go. So we're supposed to get rain all through the night. There you go. That's cold. That's cold. All right, back to the footy. Kicks pretty much the same. Only 20 in it. Kicks and handball. Inside 50s. Well, there you go. The Eagles are on the left. I've got to remember the Eagles are on the left. The Eagles, they both hit their season average, 46, 56. Maybe they had a few more chances. Disposal efficiency. Well, the Eagles are pretty good today. They were above their average. 75, 72% for both teams. You know what? That's not too bad. And inside 50 efficiency, not too bad either for both sides. You know, I don't think that really does tell a story with the free kicks. Even though the Eagles had twice as many as the Lions, there were a couple, that should have been there that weren't, and that could have made the result even closer. The hit-outs, not too much difference there. 8's not really a big a deal. Clearances, there we go, 35, 49. Centre clearances, I tell you what, they came back pretty hard, the Eagles, from centre clearances, because they were going pretty dismal there. They gave it the best shot. I don't miss Melbourne winters, I tell you what. I don't blame you. Paul. They're just too cold. They're too cold for me. My feet are freezing. We've got the heater on. Yeah, that's the only way we can keep warm. Center all. Stoppage clearances 22-34. Contested possessions pretty much the same. Turnovers. There you go. The turnovers weren't too bad. They were actually below season's average. It wasn't too bad. There was just a little bit of rain in the game. I think that came in the second quarter. It was a little bit slippery, but apart from that, it was all right. It was good play, good dry game. 79-95 to the Lions in the marks department. Marks inside 50. There we go, 13-14. Nothing in that, of course. Contested marks 10-13, pretty much similar. As you can see, 14 goals, 9 to 16 goals, 10. The Lions take this one out. Let's have a look at the tackles, though. 53-66. Yeah, not much in that. They both hit their average, so they both brought good pressure today. As I said, the pressure barometer was up to about 241 and 242, respectively, for both sides at the same time. So they, you know what, they brought good pressure. And tackles inside 50, only 5 to the Eagles, where the Lions copped 18. There we go. The Eagles need to have a look at that part in their game and bring a little bit more heat next time. 7-1 the bounces for the Eagles, the 1%ers, 36-43. Yeah, that's, you know what, that's good enough. Let's have a look at the season's ladder now. Let me try and reload this and get this working right. There we go. There we have the live ladder, folks. There's the live ladder. And as we see, Brisbane winning today. There you go. Only a half a game off second on the ladder. So 2 points might as well be 4 points with Carlton and Geelong, except Fremantle and Essendon down there with the draws also. There we go. So Brisbane have gone ahead of Addy G's team, Fremantle. We'll see what happens in the coming weeks there, Addy G, whether they can do it. But Fremantle need. They need to get in that top. Well, they really need top 2 to get a home final. Top 4, most definitely they need to get there. West Coast Eagles down there, only winning 3 games for the season. But you know what, folks, they played like a reasonably good side today, the West Coast Eagles. I don't know where that form's been over the past. But they certainly put up a good game for their new interim coach. There we go. Just having a look at the poll results coming in after the 43 votes. I tell you what, the poll in the votes have been pretty close, and they've been, well, the way they should be, the way the games have been played this weekend. So the results have been reasonably close. Brisbane with 58% of the votes there. West Coast with 41%. I don't know what happened to the other 1% there. I think Casper the Ghost whisked that 1% away. Yeah, I didn't have a draw in there, so I don't know what happened to the other 1%. But there you go. Looking at the ladder, Sydney Swans still on top after this completed round. After round 18. Looking at the fixture, let's have a look who they play next week. The Brisbane Lions, I think they have a tough game. They're at the Gabba next week. They play the league ladders in Sydney Swans. Well, I'll tell you what, that's going to be one cracking game, folks. Centre Hall, that's next Sunday. We'll have to cover that game without a doubt. Addy G will probably cover the Fremantle Melbourne game, and I'll probably cover the Carlton North Melbourne game. Carlton North Melbourne, that won't be too bad a game. You know, we expect Carlton to win, but North Melbourne have been playing all right. There you go. Another big round. The games next week, Essendon, Adelaide, 6v14. Tell you what, that's going to be a cracker of a game there. I think Adelaide Crows might get up. Giving you the early tips, we've got the GWS versus the Gold Coast Suns. You know, the way the Giants played today, they didn't beat Richmond by much, so the Suns might have a big chance toppling them. What's St Kilda versus the West Coast Eagles next week at Marvel Stadium? Probably go for St Kilda there. Hawthorn versus Collingwood next week. Sentinel all. This is going to define the rest of the season for these two teams, both sitting on 36 a game out. The winner will continue on, and the loser, I think it is season over. I was thinking Collingwood might take that one out against the Hawks. I think Eddie G will agree with that, and hoping for Tina and Bem Bem that Collingwood, our team, can win next week, Lang. Hopefully we can win next week. Center all. Then we've got another, I'll tell you what, here's another cracking game down at the Cattery at GMHBA Stadium. We have Geelong taking on the Bulldogs. There's a big game. Eddie G, it will all be going for the underdogs, although for the Pies supporters will be going for Geelong. We've got Port Adelaide, Richmond. There comes a comfortable win for Port Adelaide. So that might then boost Port Adelaide back into the 8. Tell you what, the games are a cracker next week. Brisbane Lions versus Sydney, 4th versus 1st. Then we've got 5th v 8th, Fremantle Dockers versus Melbourne. I think that should be that'll be a very, very interesting game. Although I think Melbourne could be the surprise packet out of that after a good win on the weekend. Fremantle are extremely hard to beat at home. And of course, rounding out next week is Carlton and North Melbourne. Well, there is going to be a win for the mighty Blue Baggers next week. So that should be another good game. There we go. What a game. What a game. So that's it. Paul has finally picked a winner. Five teams above us to lose. That's exactly right. But it's some of these teams that are around us as well. Sitting on 36, look, I think we've got to forget about Sydney, Carlton and Geelong. I don't think we can get up there because the run home for the Magpies, Paul, is it's got to be the hardest out of any team left. I think all the teams pretty much we play now are above us. So it's going to be tough. So we just need a couple of the top sides to win, Sydney, Carlton, Geelong. We need them to beat these undersides, and then that might allow us to sneak in. But that being said, your team has to be in form. They have to be doing everything right, and this is the time of the year that you don't really want to be making changes to your team. You want them to be pretty stable. No changing with the ins and outs and all that type of thing. You want to be the same team sort of going in, pretty much, maybe just one or two, to have a really stable side heading into the finals. I'll tell you what, this year, folks, out of many years in the past, this year, if you win this year, you've well and truly deserved it. I can't remember seeing a season where there was only 2 games separating 2nd to 13th. 2 games, that is all. Wowee. I'll tell you what's going to be a cracker of the last... How many rounds have we got left? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got about 6 rounds left. That's it. And then we're hitting finals time. That's super exciting. It's super exciting, folks. For the last 6 games of the home and away season here in the Australian Football League, AFL, the greatest game on earth. Looking forward to it. But you know what? I've jibber-jabbered on enough. I think I've jibber-jabbered on enough. And I think that will wrap this one up. Let me just leave that up there. I'm going to leave this up there for another 5 or 6 minutes. For the latecomers that want to come and check the score of this great game that happened today. And of course, although the Eagles were defeated by the Lions, they'll hold their head up high because they played a cracker of a game. But the Lions too strong here today at Optus Stadium. 16-10, 106 the Lions defeating the very gallant in defeat West Coast Eagles 14-9, 93. All right, folks, I'm gonna mute my sound for the next 5 minutes. So if you want to stay in the chat and chat amongst each other, feel free. This is your host signing off. Ciao for now. We'll see you in the next live. And thanks for everyone for coming in. Thanks to the manager who came in just to Tina and Bem Bem to come and check and make sure that I was doing everything okay. Thanks, Eddie G. Good on you, Paul. And everyone, thanks. Chrissa was in here earlier. Of course, the sniper was in here for quite a while. Thanks, Charlie. Well done. Danielle, good stuff. I know the Eagles didn't win for you today, but they did pretty well. So don't worry about that. Thanks, everyone. I'm going to mute for now. I'll leave this going for another 5 minutes before I end the screen. Thanks very much. Hey, don't forget, next Friday night, Essendon versus Adelaide Crows. That's when we'll be covering the football on the next game. All right, peeps. Cheerio. Have a great evening. Peace out.